Oh, it's another largemouth. That's another big largemouth right there. Who would have ever thought, dang catfish trip, you're gonna be busting largemouth? Hi y'all, good morning. The sunrise is coming. It's going to be peeking up over them trees here any moment now. So we got no time to waste, y'all. We're going to do some catfishing today, and we're going to mix things up a little bit. I'm going to do something, kind of a side-by-side bait challenge, if you will. This is recommended by one of my channel members named Larry. And I thought, you know what? This is a pretty good idea, especially for today. So I'm going to get our baits on here, and then I'm going to pull up the graph here, show you, well, not the actual graph on the kayak because the battery is apparently dead. It ain't turning on, but we've got a contour map app on my phone I'm going to pull up, show you how we're setting up today, at least to start the trip, and then we're going to hopefully reel in some fish. And if you're seeing this, good news, we reeled in a few. But let me get these baits on here, and then we'll get right to it. So we're going to start out, I've got a shad here in the floor. We're going to use it as one of the baits. The other rod, though, is going to have a very popular bait in the fishing world, but not one you see me use specifically for catfish, but it's this right here. Some old-fashioned worms, night crawlers. We're going to put those on, and I thought, here's the reason why I thought this might be a good idea. We have a growing population of sturgeon. Even though we're out here catfishing today, we have a growing population of sturgeon. They've been stocking them things in here for 20-something years where I'm fishing today. And a few months ago, I accidentally got a sturgeon in a cast net. It was the damnedest thing. It was one of them, must have been just perfect throws. Got the dang sturgeon right in the dang cast net. So anyway, those have been kind of on my mind since then, and I've never caught one on rod and reel before. And from what I can gather, a lot of people up in the Northwest use worms. They'll put like balls of worms, night crawlers, on a hook, and that's how they'll target them things. So I thought, well, let's try this today. If we get a sturgeon, how awesome would that be? If we don't, maybe we get some catfish. That would be awesome too. And what if we don't catch them? Well, could we catch some bass? Could we get, I don't know, drum? I mean, anything. Pick your poison, you know. Anything we could get that may be a bycatch, we could turn around and use as a big live bait. So I've brought a heavier tackle rod. Both of these rods up here we're going to be using to start or light tackle, but I've got a heavy rod too. So if we catch something, a drum, oh, we done got a fish on this one right here. Oh, he hit it. He gave it a tug over there, folks. But anyway, if we get something we can use as a big live bait, we're going to use it. So here's this. We've got let me go over my rigs. I didn't tell you that rig before I dropped it down, but it's a Carolina rig, a 2-ounce egg sinker, and a number 1 size shiner hook on that one. This is a Carolina rig also with a number 1 sized mosquito hook, 15-pound fluoro swivel egg sinker there, just normal Carolina rig. These are lighter action rods. It's a Catfish Sumo rod on the left. This is an ugly stick here on the right. I'm dropping these straight down to the bottom, and we're going to raise them up so that they're just off the bottom. And again, I'm going to pull up the contour map here in a second and show you how we are setting up today, at least to start. Now, we may tinker with this just a little bit if we're not getting bit, which we will see. But the fact that this rod got a little tug over here before I could even get the worms on the other rig put out, let's make sure we still got bait. Yeah, it's still on there. You gave it a little tug. That's a good sign, though. We're getting bit just a couple minutes into the trip here. But I'll tell you here in a second just how and why we're setting up here, okay? So first off, regular viewers saw me finish up on this spot on a day last week. I'd come out and I'd put in way back here over a mile, well, over 2 miles where I put in it, but I'd started fishing about a mile and a half away. And I'd been working my way up the channel here, trolling that day, working the top edge of a flat. So the way the river runs here, you've got a river bend. It comes around this way and loops around, right? Something's after our worm. Something's after our worm right here. Let me get the camera back in the chest right here. We about to maybe jerk a jaw here in a second. It ain't acting like nothing big. But something's down there giving it a little tug, ain't it? I know I ain't imagining that now. Something was messing with it. Anyway, so you've got this river bend. And, of course, over here to our right, you've got the river channel itself, the old original river channel. It's deep out there. It's going to run 55, 60 feet deep around this bend. Then you've got a ledge comes up, and then over here, kind of where we're at, you've got a shallower flat. It's going to be 20 to 25 feet deep, this whole stretch down through here. And you've got a couple creeks. The creeks I launched in. There's another smaller channel on down from here. And then you've got this creek here that fed in, right, in this area. So that particular trip, I had trolled my way along the top edge all the way up to here, and I had caught fish the whole way. We'd been getting bites pretty regularly all the way down through here. Well, I get down here to kind of where we're at, and I actually had the graph on that day, because imagine that, it actually worked, but I started seeing all these fish piled up. Well, we caught one. I hit spot lock, set there, caught another, busted a big flathead, and I finished out the trip, just spot locked on that spot and just kept catching fish. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to come back at some point this week. We're going to try this area again, but I'm going to start right here where all the fish were, kind of. So let me show you now on the graph or the app here on my phone. Okay, so here is the contour map. So like I said, you got the deeper part of the channel that's over here to our right. You've got the ledge, and this is that shallow flat, right? And last time we fished this area, we were working all the way down through here, right on the top of that. We got down here almost to this old creek channel that would have fed in here from back over here to our left. And right in here in this area is where we busted all them fish. And I thought today I'm going to come on over and we're going to start in that old creek channel itself. So we're fishing a little bit deeper. I don't know exactly how deep without the graph. It's probably 30 something, say 35-ish feet right here in this old channel. Now I thought, because these creek channels oftentimes act as a path. Oh. Something messing with that dang worm again over there. But these creek channels oftentimes act as a path for fish working out of the main river channel, going up into the shallows to feed. They'll follow those old creek channels. And anybody that fishes with me regularly on these videos, you know I love me some creek mouths. So we're kind of in that creek mouth today. But I never got here on that last trip. I just never come on out because we were catching all them fish up at the top. So I thought, today I want to come back out here. We're going to start in this old channel and see what happens. Right here at sunrise, we'll see what's going on, if anything. Now, if that works out, awesome. We'll sit here all stinking morning and just whack them. But if it don't work out, plan B is to get up on top of that drop up there, up on that flat where we were catching them last time. And I have no idea why fish were stacked up there last time. I mean, we had caught fish regularly all the way down along that flat. But when we got down here, I just started seeing a bunch of stuff on the graph. Fish. Nothing really there as far as like an object or debris or tree or brush pile or anything. There wasn't really anything there that would hold fish necessarily, but there was a pile of fish there. So I thought, well, we'll start here in this old channel. If this don't work out, we'll go up there and see if there's fish. And if that don't work out, well, then I'll just start trolling my way back to the car. Now, that was my plan coming out here. Obviously, I get on the water and surprise, we don't we don't have a working graph today. I think the battery's dead on that. I don't think it's that's a brand new graph. I don't think it's tore up. I think that it's probably a dead battery. I haven't used that thing in, I think it's been 6 days off memory. So here's the timeline for you. We're filming this on a Tuesday morning. Yesterday, Monday, I went out and netted us some shad for today's trip. I didn't use that graph then. The 2 prior days of that, Saturday and Sunday, the weekend, I didn't fish at all. So I didn't have the graph on. Friday, I done a carp trip. That was a total bust, but I didn't have the graph. The day before that, I had went out to bait an area for carp. I went out and threw out some horse feed, trying to increase our odds on the carp, which, waste of time, didn't pan out. But nevertheless, I didn't have the graph on them. So it was last Wednesday when I used that graph last, and I charged the battery when I got home that day. So here we are 6 days later, and we got no power. I'm guessing maybe, and I've had this issue with some graphs in the past, that even though they're turned off, they will still draw just a little bit of power. And over a big enough time period, it will drain your battery. And so the fact it's been 6 days, and I've just got a little small 30 amp hour battery specifically for that graph there, it's not a big battery. So it's possible that thing has drained the battery over the last week. So I guess we'll find out today when I get home and charge that battery. If it still won't turn on, then we'll know there's a flaw in the slaw somewhere. But I looked at the wiring. Everything looks good. So the simple answer is it's a battery issue. So nevertheless, plan C out here today was going to be troll our way back to the car. That's going to be a lot more difficult to do without being able to control our depth or control our speed. So we're probably going to do some just spot lock fishing today. So we'll give this spot here 30 minutes or so. If we're getting bit or getting it taps at least without catching anything, we might give it a smidge longer, but then we'll move. And yeah, that's going to be the plan. We're probably going to just spot lock all morning out here, whether it's the whole time on this spot or moving up on top of the drop. But nevertheless, we're going to try our shad nightcrawler side-by-side combo here to see if one outperforms the other. Again, that idea was recommended by a channel member named Larry. He had commented on one of my channel members' videos here, that last one, and I thought, that's not a bad idea. Normally, I wouldn't want to use something like night crawlers for, say, trophy-sized catfish, but since we're using the lighter gear, if we happen to catch smaller catfish on the worms, well, they're still going to be fun. And there's that possibility, like I said, I've been wanting to catch a sturgeon. I've never caught one on rod and reel. A lot of people who do catfish in this area have caught them just accidentally, not targeting them or anything, but just being out catfishing, doing their normal thing, and they hook one. And then, of course, I just got extremely, you could say I got lucky, or the fact it took me forever to get the thing picked out of my cast net, maybe I got unlucky. But a few months ago, I'm getting us some shad, and I throw that net, and I'm throwing a 6-foot net, and hell, that sturgeon, I don't know how big it was. It took so long to get out of the net, I didn't want to waste any more time measuring it or anything. I just wanted to get it back in the water to try to hope it would survive. But I mean, it was probably 3 to 5 foot, somewhere in that range. So I mean, it was a big sturgeon, and for me to just land a 6-foot net and catch it somehow, I must have just thrown it perfectly right over the top of it. But it's had me wondering since then, like, if I targeted sturgeon, if I could go out and from what I can gather, people in the Northwest, a lot of them will do just this thing right here. They'll either bottom fish or suspend fish, and they'll use just balls of worms. And for me, like, normally I wouldn't want to do that because you're going to get, I would feel like most likely channel catted to death with using the worms. But I don't know that. That's just my theory. That's my thought. I don't know that because I don't ever fish like that. I catch a bunch of channel cats and small blues when I'm carp fishing, although not on the last trip. But just, having worms on bottom on my carp rig, and of course I do a lot of ultralight fishing too, is with using worms and catch a variety of species. But as far as fishing out deeper like this, I don't really know, because I don't do it. All I can offer is speculation, so we'll see how it goes today. But using the worms in this fashion, it's possible that maybe we get some bycatches. The last month or so, I've had some days where I've caught some what I consider odd catches. I mean, yes, I'm catfishing with smaller hooks, these lighter gear and stuff, but I'm catching things like yellow bass and white bass on cut bait, pieces of cut shad. And I thought, well, maybe we get lucky on the cut bait today and get something like that. But with the worms, maybe we have a better chance at some bycatch like that. And so I thought, well, if we do, I'm going to bring one of my gollywopper rods here, my heavier gear. We'll take one of them big live baits if we get them and stick it on and see if we can bust something in the same area on a huge live bait. So we'll see what happens with this. And what I'm thinking as far as live baits, certainly yellow bass, white bass, something right here jumped beside us taunting us. But those for sure we would use. Drum if we get that. But even if we get, say, a small channel cat, maybe like a little, the kind I'm talking about, just yay big, a good live bait size. We'll put a channel cat on live too today. So I'm hopeful we get something that we can use as a big live bait. Yesterday, throwing the cast net for shad, all I got was shad. I didn't get any carp or suckers or drum, anything like that, just shad. And I knew with as hot as it's been here, I mean, we're still in this August summer heat. It's not gonna, I wasn't gonna be able to keep them shad alive overnight in a tank to bring those out as live bait options. So I'm hoping we get something we can use for live bait this morning. And if we do, we're gonna try out new rod holder setup here. So I'm in the Old Town Sportsman 120 Pro kayak again today. This is something keeps hitting this head bait over here. My line looks like it's kind of swimming a little bit, don't it? Well, whatever it was has thought better of it, I reckon. Let's drop that head bait back down. I'm going to reel up them worms too, since they got messed with. Let's make sure we still have a worm on there. That'd be something, be sitting there with the bare hook. I don't know if we're going to get a lot of action on the worms or not, but I know for a fact we ain't going to get no action on a bare hook, and I think they've ate the worm off there. They have. We got something back on the head bait we just dropped down. I'm glad y'all checked this worm rod, though, because we ain't got nothing on there. Something's done. Call the wall. First thing. I need one of you to call and file a report. We done been stole from right here. Somebody's done stole a worm from us. Let's put another one on. I'm just going to run this hook through a few times in such a way that this thing will be wiggling around and have some pieces there hanging off, and versus putting several of them on there. I don't know how many. What was it? Probably tells us here on the thing. Yeah, 18 of them come in that container, and I just brought one container with us to try this, so we'll just put them on one at a time. So we're already down a worm. We got about 17 left if they've if they've put as many in there as what they claim. So we'll see what happens there. Anyhow, I'm in my Old Town Sportsman 120 Pro kayak. And I'm slowly getting this thing rigged out how I want. I like my dashboard up here I made. That's a wooden board. I've mounted the graph and the rod holders too. I like that setup. It keeps everything in front of me, keeps my floor space open for landing big fish, or if I'm in a tournament, putting my measuring board, laying it across there, but yet it's still close enough that when a rod goes down, I can easily reach up there and grab it. Now, for behind me though, I made this, and it's kind of crude right now. I'll eventually paint it maybe. But you can see I've mounted, get the net out of the way, I've mounted a 2x4 to the gear tracks. So I can mount my rod holders, bolt them through to the 2x4. That makes them a lot more secure than just using a gear track mount for the rod holders, which will eventually work them gear tracks loose. Over the course of time, you catch enough fish, you'll eventually work them screws out, and I'm just not a fan of gear track rod holders if you can avoid them. And in this situation, we can avoid them just by using a wooden board here. So I've had to raise it a little bit. I put another little scrap piece of board here, drilled a hole in the 2x4 and ran a bolt through, and then just a wing nut to secure it down. And then I've done that on each side and then mounted those rod holders here. So now we can have rod holders in the back of the kayak. So we could potentially fish 4 rods in this thing now if we wanted to. And I've still got plenty of room, even though this cuts into the tank well a little bit, still got plenty of room for the cooler with room to spare, or my live bait tank if need be. So anyway, y'all, that's the new setup. So I'd like to try that out today, if we can get something to put on as a big live bait. So we'll see how that pans out as the morning goes along. But I'm optimistic about it, because I mean, we've had so many trips recently where the first time it happened, I'm like, well, that's a fluke. But then it happened again and again and again, and maybe it's happened all along. For years, maybe it's been happening. Maybe I've been having things like yellow bass and white bass and stuff like that hit my baits, but because I've historically fished with heavy tackle, using big hooks, 10-aught size hooks, well, a little white bass coming up and nipping at your cut bait, he could come up and bite it, maybe make your rod tip wiggle, but he's not going to get that big 10-aught size hook in his mouth. There's no way. But when I'm using the lighter gear like I have been lately, and we're using the smaller hooks, well, he can get that hook in his mouth. And so we've been catching more of them. And so I don't know. The first one, again, I thought it was a fluke, but now I'm thinking, well, this is just going to be a common occurrence maybe when we're fishing in shallower areas where they're going to be. Maybe we're just going to start busting some more. And so that would be great if that's the case, because then I can kind of supplement our bait while we're catfishing. Maybe get some variety, get some different types of baits, different species of bait, etc., and have them fresh and lively. For not only fresh and lively, but have them the exact species of bait that's in this area. So let's say you got catfish holding in this area, right? I hope we have some out here today, but let's say you do. And maybe you've brought some bait with you. Let's say you're using bluegill, right? It's the most common catfish bait on the planet, probably. More people use bluegill for catfish bait than any other species of fish. So you've brought some bluegill out here, but there ain't no actual bluegill where you're fishing. But meanwhile, there might be a school of yellow bass or school of white bass nearby. Well, if you've got catfish hanging out around them, there's a high probability that they're feeding on that fish that's there. So in this example, let's say it's yellow bass down there. Well, if they're already feeding on them yellow bass, and you can offer them a yellow bass that's now on a hook and struggling, or maybe one you've used as cut bait and now it's bleeding and leaching off the blood and oils and stuff, well, you're probably going to be a lot more likely to catch a big catfish on that, what they're already eating, what they're already expecting to find there, than to introduce some other type of bait that, yeah, they might normally eat it, but it's not what they're eating at that moment. So if we can do that, if we can start picking off some extra fish that's being caught right where we're catfishing, it may very well help our cause as far as catching more catfish and maybe even some better quality ones too. So it's definitely something to do as we move forward, assuming our rod holder mount here works out. And I don't have a reason to believe it won't. I mean, this setup in the back with the 2x4 is the same exact setup we've got here in the front. And I've used similar setups in the past with kayaks that have these gear tracks and stuff. So I would like to try it today to confirm, but I think everything's going to be okay with it. But it'll watch pot don't boil deal. Now that we want to catch some bycatches, we'll probably never get another one again. But if we do, you know what's going to happen. We're going to drop that thing down and try to feed it to a monster. And I mean, I've had some trips. Y'all have seen them where I've done just that. That one, I guess it's probably been 3 or 4 weeks ago now, but I'd caught that yellow bass and dropped him down, immediately got him eat live on there. So, and of course, things like yellow bass, white bass, I like those for live baits anyway. First off, they're usually a little bit bigger, thicker fish, but they're really good on a hook. Like they tolerate the hook well. They'll sit down there and just kick and fight and just go. Like they're a very hardy fish. They tolerate it well. They live a good ways on that hook, and they'll just sit down there and kick the whole time. And that's what you want out of a live bait, right? I mean, you're dropping a live bait down, you want it to struggle and hopefully capture the attention of a bigger predator fish that's coming by. Now, I've caught some big ones through the years on both yellow bass and white bass. I've got videos on this channel to show it, man. I've both blues and flatheads. Everybody talks about, for years, I've heard, Justin, man, you need to use more live bait for flatheads. And yet, historically speaking, almost all of my biggest flatheads historically have come on cut bait. And when I do use live baits, specifically large live baits, I catch more blues than anything. So, yeah, but I mean, it don't matter to me. I just want to catch some fish and hopefully bust some big ones too. And so whatever we get's fine with me. But, I mean, if we can do it, we're going to try to do it, man. If we can get them. So we'll see how it goes today with the worms. We'll see how it goes today with the other rod here with the cut bait. But, I mean, shad, and these shad are fresh. Again, I got them yesterday. Shad's kind of a go-to, man. You can't go wrong with shad ever. Every one of these creeks that these catfish are moving up into to feed, every one of these flats are going to have schools of shad roaming around. All of these shallow backwater areas, these feeding zones, these shallow water feeding zones, as fish get active, they move up to eat, they're going to find shad. So you can catch fish on shad year-round. Now, I've told you this in other videos, but I do have a preference of using shad in the colder months. I find it to be a much better bait, not only for numbers, but also bigger fish in the cold months, like when the water temperature is under 50 degrees, low 50s, especially though when you get down in the 40s, shad is just, it seems like a better bait to me. In fact, I would say shad is probably my favorite bait in the winter. Now, when you get into late winter, early spring, and the water temperatures are still cold, but the days start getting a little longer and you're starting to warm up a little bit, then crappie really starts to shine. But in those colder months, shad's it's kind of the preferred bait. And out here in the middle of summer, I mean, you can bust fish on it too. We've caught a lot on it I've been using shad damn near exclusively this year, because skipjack's been so hard to come by, and so the last 2 years really, skipjack's been harder to come by here. And what I realized was I was spending so much time trying to get skipjack that it was cutting into my catfishing time. Like, you go out and you spend several hours trying to track down skipjack and then not get any, and then you don't have any bait. Or maybe you do get some, but you don't get many, and you still have to go out and catch more bait to supplement with. It's like, man, if I can spend 20, 30 minutes and net enough shad for a couple trips, am I better off doing that? Even though I would rather have skipjack today than the shad, certainly. I'd much rather have skipjack today. But am I going to be better off in the long run spending all of those hours that I would be skipjack fishing, spend those hours catfishing with, say, shad, which maybe isn't the ideal bait I would like to be using right now, but will catch fish? Is the extra time not having to go catch the skipjack going to pay off with just more time in the water for these baits, and then end up producing either more or bigger fish? That's one of those things. I mean, you can make an argument for it either way, but there's really no way of knowing. You can't test that, of course, unless AI gets to the point we can clone ourselves, and me and you go out and try to catch some skipjack while the clone of me is out here trying to catch catfish, and then we can compare notes when our trips are done. There's no way to really know for sure. But it's something that I've kind of wanted to do this year, because it's just frustrating, man. It's frustrating when you go out and you spend a few hours and you come up empty-handed and you don't catch any skipjack. So, and it ain't like I'm going out there catching skipjack for fun, although they are fun to catch. I don't find them particularly fun to fish for, if that makes sense. Like, yes, when you're on skipjack, they're fun. They're a fun fish to catch because they're high flying. They'll smack your bait and come flying 3 foot in the air. We call them Tennessee tarpon because they jump out of the water like a dang tarpon. They're a lot of fun to catch. But as far as fishing for them goes, if you're not on them, boy, it can be tedious, because you're either going to make 8 million casts or you're just going to troll. And I usually troll most of the time, and if I do stumble onto them, then I'll stop and make some casts. But I usually like to troll till I find them. But the only time I just go and cast is if I'm fishing off the bank. So, it's one of them things. It's like, do you want to go out, spend a bunch of time doing something that you don't enjoy? I mean, yes, catching them is enjoyable, but the process, and I've talked about this a lot too, you got to enjoy the process. You got to enjoy what it is you're doing. And I don't enjoy the process of skipjack fishing. I don't like going out and making 8 million casts. If I'm going to make that many casts, I got to be getting something in return. I got to be getting some feedback, right? So like when I go ultralight fishing, say we go out the ultralight rod and some worms and we're just beating the banks. Yes, I'm making a bunch of casts in that scenario too, but you're catching fish regularly, right? We take a section of shoreline. I mean, we're going to get some bites all the way down through there. Maybe it's bluegill or bass or whatever, but you're going to catch some fish all the way down through there. You're getting constant action, constant feedback. But with skipjack fishing, man, you're not on them. You can cast for hours and never even have a tap at the bait. That ain't fun. At least it ain't fun to me. It just becomes a grind. It becomes work. And I don't really want fishing to feel like work. So when a skipjack has gotten tough the last couple years, been harder to locate, not when you do find them, you're not finding them in big numbers anymore in this area. I'm hoping they bounce back. But it's been tough the last couple of years, so I'm like, you know what? This year I'm not doing it, man. I've fished with skipjack twice this year. Twice. That's been it. The rest of the time I've been using other stuff. Because for me, even though I don't like throwing a cast net either, throwing a cast net ain't fun either, folks. It's not. But you don't have to do it very long. I can go out. Sometimes you get lucky, make one throw, you got enough bait for a couple days. Sometimes you got to make a bunch of throws. But either way, you give it 20, 30 minutes, hell, you got your bait. It ain't like skipjack fishing. You may go out and spend several hours trying it today and still need bait because you didn't catch any. So, I mean, anyway, it's just something I've been doing this year, and it's panned out. We've caught a bunch of fish. Once the spawn started, my big fish bite died off. But prior to that, man, I was getting some whoppers. I went several trips in a row just busting big fish after big fish after big fish. And just being real, like if I had been trying to use skipjack, yes, I have to believe if I went out there with what I consider a better quality bait, I would have probably caught those same fish, maybe even more, maybe bigger, I don't know. But if I had been trying to use skipjack and was unsuccessful in catching them, which is pretty likely with how things have gone the last couple of years, I got better chance of getting skunked skipjack fishing than I do of catching them these days. Well, how many of those trips in the spring when I was on them big fish, how many of those would I have missed because I wouldn't have had bait? So, I've been pretty content just getting the shad and rolling with it and spending the extra time catfishing. Now, this morning, this shad, we've had some taps here, but it ain't really working out. So here's what I'm thinking. We're 30-something minutes into this. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to pull the contour map back up on the phone. And me and you, we're going to come off spot lock here. Let me grab the... Oh, I say that, and this rod just got thumped over here. There it goes. Okay. Well, this fish said Justin's going to move. I better eat this bait quick before he takes off. This fish knew I was serious about moving. I was going to move us up to the top. Depending on how big he is here, and I don't think he's going to be very big, we may still go up there. This area here in this old creek channel is deeper than what I've been fishing and having all the success on lately. Yeah, this thing here, he's all wrapped up in that line too. He's going to act a fool when he get there. You go. I knew he was going to. I knew he was going to act a fool. He got all wrapped up in that line and got calm on us. Get that E-system, sir, before we bring you in. I don't want you getting these people sopping wet and you come over here splashing like that. None of these people want to get wet first thing in the morning now. Even though it's already so humid out here, we're already sitting in swamp ass just because of the humidity. Okay, let's get hold of you fish. Let's grab your hook. I think me and you, we still going to move. Let's go set up on top of this drop where we caught them at that last time we come out here last week, and definitely at the depth that we've been getting them at. Cause that one there ain't nothing. He's a skunk buster. We got the skunk out, but he ain't nothing to write home and tell you folks about. So let's reel up our worm here. If we still got a worm on. Do we not have a worm on? We got part of him on there. Yeah, he's still on. Okay. All right. So let's come off spot lock. Get my remote here. Okay. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to turn this around and we're just going to get up on the flat. That's more in the depth. I've been catching a bunch of fish lately in the 20s. 20, 25 feet in that range. When I've been deeper than that, I ain't done no good. I went down there last week to Nickajack, fished the really deep water, because that's where I'd expect to be getting fish this time of year, out in the deeper depths, deeper ledges. It ain't panning out, man. We ain't doing no good. The shallow, what's shallow to me is not shallow to a lot of you all, but you know what I mean. Like shallower is where we've been having success. So let's just try it. We give it 30 something minutes down here in that old creek channel. It didn't pan out. One fish, couple taps. So let's move on up. We'll just get up here on the top of it. It was over in this area here, because we'd worked all the way up to here and we started seeing all them fish. So I never crossed that channel. But that's where we finished out the trip that day, got a bunch of fish, got that big flathead. So I'm more optimistic about that than the creek channel that we were just in at this point. And since we give it so much time and it just wasn't working for us. We'll get reset up here, and then I got a story to tell you all today too. Me and Sanford and Son, my neighbor, had at it the other day, and I gotta fill you in on the details of that. All right, let me hit spot lock again. All right, so here we are. This is how we're gonna set up here, just right here in this area. Let's see what goes down here. I'm going to take this body section of the shad, snip the tail off. We'll put that on this one. Switch out this old head that's been hit a couple times and needs to be switched out at this point anyway. Just been down there so long, and of course it looks terrible. Okay. There this one goes, and we'll take a look at our worm. We may go ahead and just switch it out too, since it's probably dead. The takedowns here will definitely be better since we're a little bit more shallow. We won't have as much line out, and therefore the takedowns are going to be much more intense. Shorter the line, the better the takedown, y'all. Put that remote back in my pocket there. Okay, let's take a look at this worm. Is he wiggling at all? He's still wiggling a little bit, ain't he? Old night crawler's alive right there, folks. Let's send him back down. We're going to bust out our sunglasses, and I'm going to tell you about Sanford and Son. Regular fishing buddies of mine on these videos, you have heard me through the years tell you the stories of my neighbors, Sanford and Son. Disregard my note here in my camera bag. I can't ever remember anything, folks. So I got a note there to remind myself when I leave here today. I got to stop at my parents. I let their dog out. My parents have put it just like that too, so I don't forget. My parents got some stuff to do today. They're going to be gone a while. They wanted me to let their dog out, and like, well, I got to drive right by your house anyway on my way home from here, so I'll just stop off there and do that. But I know how my memory is. If I don't leave myself a note, I'll be thinking about something and drive right by there. So that's why that note's there, halfway hanging out of my bag, folks. But let me tell you about Sanford & Son. And I refer to my neighbor, my next door neighbor, as Sanford & Son because they're trashy. There was a TV show back in the 80s called Sanford & Son, and they lived on a junkyard or whatever. And when I think junkyards, I think trash and clutter everywhere. And my neighbor, you look in their yard, there's trash and clutter everywhere. So I just lovingly refer to them, not so lovingly because I hate their guts, but I refer to them as Sanford & Son. Well, we've had some incidents with Sanford & Son through the years, which I have told regular viewers about. But this one here takes the cake. This one, as we've got something here working this body section over there. Boy, we ain't been up here just a couple minutes and we already hooked up, man. We're already hooked up. We come up here to the top. We come up here to the top of this and we already got one. I don't know how deep we are, but again, it's probably low to mid 20s in depth here. Probably 25 foot at the most. Definitely encouraging, man. Definitely encouraging. I'm hoping we catch a bunch today. This fish, he don't want to be caught though. He's bigger than the last one. Oh, there's one with it too. He had a friend with him. He had a friend with him. We ain't got another rod ready to drop down though. Yeah, that's definitely bigger than the last. A little smaller fun size right here, we'll call it. Get in that net there, fella. Yeah. I'll tell you what. Let's get him unhooked real fast and drop this bait back down because he's still got the bait sitting right there. If I can get the dang thing out in a timely manner. Apparently I ain't going to get it out in a timely manner, folks. It never works out like that. Okay. We're going to need to rehook this thing, but let's just go ahead, drop it back down real fast before we deal with this one in the floor. That way, if there's more, I mean, he had one friend that I saw for sure. There's a glare of the way the sun's come up over the trees there. I can't, even with the glasses, I can't half see. But I saw his friend. Okay, now let's get rid of this one. He's a smaller fun sizer, but I ain't going to give him no front camera time. He might be a larger dink. Fun sizer in length, dink in weight. See you, buddy. There you go. Right there on that body section. Right there on it, buddy. Right there on it. He's going down with it. We could barely get the other one out of here. And now this one's going down. There's apparently still some fish. I don't know what's holding them here. I didn't see anything on the graph last time that would suggest that fish should just be holding here. But boy, ain't it something. We just moved up out of that creek channel and then boom, boom. Oh, there goes our worm. There goes our worm. We got this one on. Let me see. Okay, that's a blue. That's a blue right there. I couldn't tell. I'm looking right into the dang sun. I was like, is that a blue or a flat? Okay. We got our worm. We got our worm eating here. We'll see what it is. We doubled. We're on some fish, man. It took a little time today. We wasted time. it's frustrating because I know what I would expect fish to be doing and where they should be, and you can never go wrong fishing a creek mouth. But it's just a deeper creek mouth than what I've been getting fish at lately. And ultimately, fish are where they are for a reason. You can think fish should be someplace, but I mean, ultimately, I'm not a fish. Oh, and he's gone. He just popped free on us. I'll tell you what, let's stick another worm on there before we try landing this one. I mean, if you was a fishing partner worth the crap, you'd already have this worm on here for me. Boy, that's something though, man. We just got 2 fish. Boom, boom. Technically 3, because the other one. So I'm getting more optimistic by the second, y'all. All right, next worm going down. Let's send him. We'll net this one over here and get us another shad on after we get done with him. Okay, grab this. Yeah, this is another one right here that's a fun sizer in length. Boy, I think he's dark too. I can't, with the glare, the sun is putting this glare right here. I can't half see nothing. I may give this a little front camera time though. He's definitely got some length, but not much weight. Can I have that hook back? Thank you. Yeah, he's skinny. This is a spawned out fish right here, buddy. Got a couple marks on him there. He's recently off the nest, but just long and skinny. If you was back to normal weight, I'd give you front camera time, fish, but you ain't. So we ain't wasting time with it. I want to get another bait down there. And then I want to tell these people about the Sanford & Son incident. I hate Sanford & Son. The TV show was okay back in the day when I was a kid, but my neighbors, I absolutely hate them, folks. I just hate them people. They're awful people. And had another incident with them this past week. My channel members done heard about it, but y'all gonna hear about it today. I'll tell you what happened. Let me get this other bait on here first, though. It's just a smaller shad here. A lot of the shad I got yesterday were small. I got a few big gizzards, but a lot of them were just kind of 4 or 5 inchers. So we're gonna roll with them. Okay, so that's the backstory, right? Sanford & Son moved in somewhere around COVID. I mean, it was 2020, 21, somewhere in there. So I've been living next to these jerks for the last several years. And they keep their property just trashed over there. They moved in, Jethro and Ellie Mae, into this camper a few years ago. So I had to put up a big wooden privacy fence to block those people out. And that gave us a little bit of a buffer. The old saying, good fences make good neighbors. Having that wooden privacy fence between us has been a good thing. It blocks them out. I don't get to see their trashy property. It's been nice, right? Well, I'm giving you the backstory here. You need a little bit of the backstory to understand the incident that happened here the other day, okay? So, like I said, they had Jethro and Ellie Mae living in this RV camper that they had parked right beside the fence. And that's ultimately what had caused me to make the decision to put up that privacy fence. Because, I mean, when you... listen, everybody Everybody out there, all of you listening right now, wants to have the right to do whatever you want to do on your property. You paid for it. You bought your property. You pay your property taxes. You ought to be able to do whatever the hell you want to do on your property, right? Everybody thinks that until Walter White and Jesse Pinkman move in an old RV camper right next to the fence on your property line 20 foot from your house. Then, when that happens, everybody's happy for zoning laws and regulations that prevent that kind of thing, right? So anyway, Sanford and Sons got Jethro and Ellie Mae living there illegally. As something's working our left rod here. He's got it now. Oh, big takedown. Big takedown. Oh, he's running again. He's running again. He still ain't done. Moving up here was the right call, y'all. He is around that. Let me go this way. Let me stand up on this thing because he got over there by that motor. This was the right call coming up here, y'all. That creek channel, I mean, we were 10 feet that direction, 20 feet that direction, down in the creek channel, 30 minutes, couple taps, one fish. We come up here on top of it before the drop, and now we're just catching them one after another. Ain't that something? You make a move just 20 feet, and it changes your whole fortune. 20-foot difference. We went from not catching fish to now catching fish. One after another. This is going to be a better one right here. He feels pretty good. Yeah, buddy, this one here is going to be the biggest one of the morning so far. Pretty sure it's a blue because I felt him. The gyrations down there. He's been rolling. But this one's, and some big bubbles coming up right there too. You see them bubbles coming up as he goes back down. Buddy, this one right here now. This is better fish. This is what I want out here. Yeah, I seen a tail. He'll get him a little front camera time. We're going to try out our new camera mount on here. Yeah, that's a solid fun sizer right there. Nice, man. Very nice. I mean, we just moved like 20 feet at the most, y'all. But we're up here at a depth that I've been catching fish. The deeper, once I get deeper in about 25 feet, I just can't catch fish. It's been an odd year for that. Normally this time of year I'd be catching them 60, 80 feet deep. These hottest part of the summer, but not this year. It's been 20, 25 feet where it's been. He still ain't quite ready yet, is he? Yeah. We got us a fight here. We got us a battle, y'all. It's light tackle on a fish like this is a good time. 7 days a week, twice on Sunday. Yeah. Meanwhile, our worm over there ain't got nothing happening with it. If that worm don't get it together and start catching some fish, we're gonna end our little experiment and put another shad on that rod. That's what we're gonna do. Right now, we're gonna leave it as is, but one of y'all net this fish for me, would you? You probably can't see it to net it because you're looking right in the sun, unless you got your sunglasses on. There we go, I got him. I can't count on y'all to net him, I'll just do it myself. Nice fish. Very nice. I'll take them like this, y'all. I will take them like this anytime. Where is the hook, though? That is the next question. Don't want to put my finger up in it. There it is. Let's take this hook back, sir. Thank you. Now, let's me and you try out my new camera mount here. I made this thing out of a selfie stick and a bolt and a piece of PVC. My talents are never ending, folks. You give me some PVC and some zip ties, some duct tape, I can build about anything. There we go. Fun sizer. Smaller fun sizer, but nevertheless, best one of the morning thus far. Dang good fight on the light tackle. And I have to believe we're going to get some more with the way things are going. So let's get you going, buddy. We'll see you. I'll go ahead and give a fist pump, because why not? I was about ready to fist pump Sanford & Son the other day, too. We're going to finish that story as soon as we get baited up here. I've had it with Sanford & Son. He's on his final straw, y'all. He's on my last nerve. Let's get another shad. I'm just gonna cut this one right here. Cut it in about half. Drop it back down. That worm over there is letting us down, y'all. He's a worm, but he's gonna need to get together. That night crawler is gonna be crawling back to Walmart in the return bin. I didn't pay for them worms to bring them out here and not catch fish. Okay, got that reset. So back to Sanford & Son. So like I said, man, everybody thinks that your property, you ought to be able to do whatever the hell you want on it. And I agree to an extent. Like, I don't want the government telling me what I can and can't do. But again, when you got Jesse Pinkman and Walter White, Breaking Bad style, moving in right next door to you, it's nice to have zoning laws make that kind of thing illegal. So Sanford & Son had them living there in that old camper illegally. Being a compassionate person I am, I said I'm going to overlook it. Even though they looked me right in the eye and lied to me and said, oh, this is just temporary, we won't be here long. They end up being there damn near 2 years. He lied to me, but nevertheless, I'm like, I'm going to put up a privacy fence. I need to block these people out anyway. And I done that. Well, Jethro and Ellie Mae in that camper had them a little utility trailer, old rusted out utility trailer, had a kayak on it, like a little $200 Walmart kayak, whatever, right? And because they're just assholes, that everybody on that side of the fence was an asshole. Instead of parking that utility trailer behind the privacy fence, do they do that? Hell no. They park it farther on down, so that now, when I look out my living room window, I can't help but see that old rusted out trailer sitting there by the fence. Because my wooden privacy fence ended just beyond where they had their RV. And then I've got my regular fence, which still allowed me to have a view out my living room window. But then they put that trailer right there in my view as this rod goes down. Another one, buddy. Another one right here. It's another one that feels like he's got a little pep in his step. I don't know if he's going to be quite as big as his last friend, but he don't feel too shabby. Well, the fish, I want to ask him, he gets up here, if he's got any neighbors down there that's awful too. I guess the perk of being a fish is you can just always be living somewhere different all the time. Whereas us humans, if we buy a place or rent a place, we're kind of there. We've made a commitment to that place. It's not easy to move like a fish. significantly smaller than the last one, but still a fiery old fish. Let's get him on in here and get him unhooked. So, anyway, they parked that damn utility trailer right there where I'm going to have to look at it instead of just parking it on the other side of their RV where it would be behind the privacy fence. I think they done it intentional. But again, you know, it's their right. It's their property. They can park that thing wherever they want to. Just like this fish, he can park his butt on outside this kayak. Attitude like that wanting to flop on me, he can just get on out. So it is what it is. I don't like it, but I can't do anything about it. So that trailer, little utility trailer, sat there in my plain sight looking out my living room window all the time. Well, eventually Jethro and Ellie Mae, they move on. They get that old camper out of there. I guess they found somewhere else to live. And I'm singing the praises, right? Like, hell yeah, I'm finally rid of these people. Well, they leave that utility trailer there. And it's there for months after they're gone. Still sitting right there in my line of sight. Well, finally, they come back and got that trailer. And I was home the day they come and got it. I was doing some stuff outside. So I saw them over there messing with it, and it had a flat tire. So before they could haul that trailer off, they had to change out the tire on it. And they took that old tire, and you know what they done with it? They threw it right over there by the fence. So now, for the last year or so, it's been somewhere around a year that they come and got that old utility trailer. That something's already on that. We just stripped that bait down. He's already on it. Meanwhile, our worm. Do we have a worm on here? Oh, well, we ain't got time to check. We ain't got time to check because that one's going down. Oh, he just dropped it. We're going to have to check that worm. I'm wondering if we got a worm on. This one here dropped it, though. I'm going to just reel that worm up here in a second and find out. If we got a worm on and we keep getting hit on the shad here, we don't have a worm on. I can tell just by how it fell. Something got our worm. We must have been distracted reeling another fish and something stole our worm again. But anyway, it's been probably around a year that tire has sat by the fence as that rod's already getting hit over there again. And again, it's been right there in my line of sight. I look out my living room window and go to look over the horizon in that direction, and there's that danged old tire. We traded one eyesore in the trailer for a smaller eyesore in the tire. But again, it ain't my property, and there ain't no laws against if you want to throw an old tire against the fence, as this fish right here wants to take a rod down. Grab that rod, y'all. I want to lower this worm down real fast. One of you grab that rod over there. Man, it's buried. That rod's buried over there. I'm trying to get this worm down here. Come on, fish. These people ain't going to reel you in. I'll do it my damn self. They keep stealing them worms off that hook over there, y'all. I'm going to have to make a change on that right rod. We're going to end up. Of course, I don't know. I mean, hell, we can't even keep this line in the water. Reeling them in one after another right here. We may just be fine leaving this one rod out and just experimenting with the worms either way. Unless you all gonna help me reel them in. Y'all ain't never helped me yet. I can't get you to bait a hook, net a fish, reel one in, nothing. You just sit here and watch me struggle every damn trip. This fish, he's excited to get up here. He wants to hear about this tire. Making him a run, though. So anyway, I ain't gonna get through this story if these fish don't leave us alone. But let me try my damnedest here. So the tire gets thrown over there by the fence. Been sitting there, it's an eyesore. It irritates the hell out of me, the fact it's there. But again, it's their property. If they want to trash it, even though I can't relate to people like that, it's still, I mean, it's their property. If they want to throw that tire there, I can't do nothing about it. I may not like it, but I can't do nothing about it. Just like this fish can't do nothing about having a hook in his face. I can do something for him. I can get this hook out, but he can't do it himself. He's hooked good. Come on, get in that net. Let me help you, fish. Get in that net. There he is. There he is. We got him. Okay, that's another right there. Another fun sizer. You want to be held up for the camera, fish? Would that please you? You see where I put my thumb right there? I about put it right in that hook. That wouldn't have pleased me. That wouldn't have been pleasing at all, fish. That would have been terrible. There he is, a small fun sizer. These fish have just been skinny. They're fresh off the spawn, and they're just, on one hand, it's good. They're real aggressive. So when you get a bait in front of them, they're ready to eat because they've literally been starving. But when you do catch them, they're like that, and some of the others, they're spawned out. They're real skinny. They don't have much weight on them. It's going to take some time before they pack on the pounds again. So, back to the story now. I've been looking at that tire. Can't do nothing about it. I hate it. But it is what it is. Well, fast forward to the other day. Last Thursday. And here's how the day went down. My plan that day was I wasn't going to fish because it's going to be a little windy. But I was going to go bait an area for some carp. I ain't been carp fishing in a while. I was in the mood. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to take some horse feed and go throw it out in this area. And then I'm going to film a channel members video on the water. And then head on back home. So I wasn't going to be out there very long. And since I was just going out there to throw out that feed for the carp, I wasn't getting up at the crack of dawn to go do it. I slept in, and it was daylight when I left and whatnot. So here's what happened that morning. I get up. I had a fish hit me right then. He's on it again. Let me just hold it right here in my hand. He's after it, folks. Got him. I got him. Oh, okay, here we go. Here we go, y'all. Here we go. We got one. Not on the worm, but we got one on the cut bait. Yep, here we go. Grab your live bait rod here. Grab this. I'll tell you what, too. Let's put our net on this other side, because I want to put this live bait over here on the left side. Yep. We got us one, folks. I told you it's been happening. I told you it has been. I told you didn't believe me. They didn't believe me here, fish. Here's what I want to do, though. I want to just trim. I want to trim that fin. And then we're going to just run this. This is a 10-aught size. Oh, boy, I about lost him. That'd have been something. We'll lose him out before we can get him hooked. Come here, fish. Calm down a second. Save that energy. You're going to need it. I'm going to hook him right through the back. And we're going to drop him down live. I'm hooking him right here in the back, kind of right behind the head. And got him on a Carolina rig with an 8-ounce egg sinker. A little bit heavier sinker there. Actually, it may be a 4-ounce. It's a 4 or an 8. I can't. Normally, I have 8s for this. But looking at there, it may be a 4. Either way, it's a heavier egg sinker. And we're going to suspend him right off the bottom and see if he'll conjure us up something. And we'll try him back here in this back rod holder mount and see how a rod holder does. And boy, if something eats him, we're going to have us a good time, y'all. We're going to have a real good time. I was hoping that would happen. I thought it might happen, have more likely chance of happening on the worm, but not so much. Here's one of our bigger shad here. We'll actually get more than one bait out of this one. Get it rebaited. Where was I at in the story? I was telling you about the tire. And the other day when I left, so okay, yeah. So I went out, bait that area for carp, right? And before I left, I do what I do every day. I pick up my cat, old Martin Luther Kitty. He likes to be held, right? And right in front of my living room window, I've got a bird feeder set up. So Marty likes for me to pick him up and hold him, and so he can see the bird feeder, and we sit there and he'll do the little thing with his mouth where he kind of cackles like he would attack them birds if he had the chance. And we'll look around and we'll see if there's anything else in the yard, maybe some squirrels or an occasional deer or maybe another stray cat out there wandering around. Like, this is what we do every day. It's kind of our thing. Me and this cat, every day I pick him up and we look out the living room window together. Okay? Every day. Now, days like today, where I leave my house and it's still dark so we can come out here and fish, well, I'll do it when I get home today. He'll greet me at the door. I'll pick him up. We'll walk over the window and look out. On a day like it was Thursday, where I'm sleeping in a little later and I'm not in any rush to get out the door, I'll pick him up first thing in the morning. We'll look out, right? It's what we do every day. So I always know what's going on in my yard at all times because I look out that front window every day. And every day for the last few years, I've had an eyesore, either that rusted out utility trailer or the tire they left from that trailer over there by the fence. I've had something that you can't look out my front window and not at some point have your eyes veer to the left to that eyesore over there from my trashy neighbor, Sanford & Son. Okay, so that's set the stage for you, right? That's the backstory. That's the backstory for the story you about to hear. And I'm going to apologize in advance. I was about as pissed off as I've been in a long time when this happened. And when I get pissed off, I say cuss words. And even though we're a few days removed from it, I can feel myself getting angry right now. So I'm going to try to keep the cussing to a minimum, but no promises. So parental advisory, there you go. Hide your kids, hide your wife for what's about to come. So Thursday morning, I get up there, poking around the house, pick up the cat. We're looking out in the yard. Everything's fine. Nothing out of the norm, except there's a dude on the other side of the fence with a weed eater. And he's over there kind of at the top of Sanford & Son's driveway at the top of the hill on that side of the fence. Well, whatever. I go about my day. I leave the house. I go bait that area for the carp. I do a channel members video. I come home. I'm gone 2 hours, maybe 3 at the most, not very long. I go in the house. I get the camera files transferring over the computer, and I come back out and I walk by my living room window and look out. And I see something in my yard. Like, what the hell is that? And so I go down there. And my front yard's kind of my house at the top of a hill in the front yard, and I got a fence that goes around and whatnot. And down at the bottom of my front yard by the fence, there's an old tire. And I immediately look up toward the top of the hill over there where the other tire has been laying for damn near a year, maybe longer now, and notice it's gone. So 2 + 2 = Jello. I know exactly where that tire came from. And I'm pissed because I can only assume that Weed Eater Man has thrown that tire over onto my property. That tire wasn't in my yard before I left, but Weed Eater Man was over there near it on that side of the fence. So naturally, am I wrong to assume it's Weed Eater Man? So I'm pissed, right? I am freaking livid. I march my ass back in the house. I got to get the keys to my front gate. Because Weed Eater Man, I can hear him. He's on down toward the bottom of their driveway, down on the bottom of the hill, but he's still out there. So I go up there, get the keys to the gate so I go down there and confront him. And I get back out the porch there, and I'm like, well, hell, let me turn back around, because if me and him's about to have at it here, I'd rather not be wearing flip-flops. I'd like to have some shoes on. So I go back in the house and put my shoes on. First time I've had shoes on all summer. But, you know, if you're going to throw down, it's nice to have some shoes versus flip-flops. So I go back down there. I march my ass down the hill to Weed Eater guy. I'm like, hey, you know anything about this tire? Got thrown in my yard today? Oh, I don't know nothing about no tire. Like, really? That tire that wasn't in my yard before I left today, but is there now. You don't know anything about how it got there, even though you've been out here weed eating along this driveway all day. No, I don't know nothing about it, man. Did you see anybody else throw a tire in my yard? No, ain't nobody else been out here. Man, I keep my head down. I keep to myself, man. I don't know nothing about it. He's pleading ignorant. You know, I'm just waiting on this. I'm thinking he's going to have some excuse. He's going to have something smart ass to say. You know, something to just own up to the fact he's thrown this tire on me, and then it's on. Because, I mean, I was at that point, man. I was so mad. I was so angry. That kind of thing. Y'all, I mean, listen, we all have triggers, right? Every one of us. Some things maybe might bother you, wouldn't bother me, and vice versa. We all have triggers based on our life experience. Some things are going to piss you off more than it will me, and vice versa. This fish is going to be mad when he finds out there's a hook in that bait he just buried. This fish, he knew I needed a break from the story. He could feel me getting fired up. He could feel my blood pressure rising. I'm so angry. He just knew he needed a pause in the story to collect myself before I start letting the cuss words fly on this PG video. And there was a lot of cuss words said on this day, folks. Let me just tell you. Lots of cuss words said. Another solid fish right here. Get your net. It's on the other side now. Get him over here in this net. He left our bait on there too. Nice of him. No longer it's been down there, we'll just go ahead and maybe reuse it. All right, fish, you done now. Calm it down. Indoor behavior. Yeah, we'll go ahead and drop that bait down there again. Boy, I tell you, folks, we moved up here on top of this, on top of the drop, and it's been on. We should have just started the day here, but I had to know what was going on in that creek channel. I had to. And obviously the answer was nothing. Moved 20 feet up on top of the drop. 20-something feet deep. Don't know the exact depth since our graph is powerless. But you know what I mean. It's all it took. One simple little change. Now we're just sitting up here catching them. All right, let's get this bait back down real quick. And proceed on with the story that I'm going to try my damnedest not to cuss too much in. So anyhow, I'm pissed off at this guy, man. I know it's him, but he ain't owning up to it. And, you know, I'm like, well, shit, if it ain't him, if it truly ain't him, the only other person it could be was old Sanford and Son. But I go back up on top of the hill, I don't see the car. I don't think Sanford's home. So I'm like, man, you know, it had to be daggone weed eater guy. It had to be. He's the only suspect. The tire was not there before I left because I look at my yard every day. I was literally holding the cat up, looking out the window, looking around. The tire wasn't there. I'm gone 2 or 3 hours. I come home, now there's a tire there. And I know where it come from because the other tire that's been by the fence forever, it's gone. So anyway, I'm pissed, and I'm like, I know where this tire come from. I can't prove that weed eater guy done it, but I'm gonna get a reaction out of these people. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go take this tire, and I'm gonna sling it over the fence and try to land it right in the middle of their damn driveway so that when Sanford does get home, or when weed eater guy goes to leave, he's gonna have to get out and address that damn tire. Right? So I go do that. And on my way back up the hill to go do it, I'm like, you know, I better just document this somehow. I better just do something with this. So I go back in the house, like, I'm going to grab the camera and show, before I sling this tire over the fence, I'm going to show where it's at in my yard. And so I go grab the camera, and I'm like, you know what? I've got my other files transferring over from my channel members. They might enjoy a story about old Sanford and Son, because it seems like my channel members always, I do a lot of these videos around my house, the channel members videos. And I've got people that just love seeing me be miserable. My neighbors. So as I'm walking down the hill there and going to show the tire where it's at and whatnot, I'm telling my channel members what has happened here. So I get done with that. I go back in the house. I'm going to grab some gloves and go sling that tire. Well, I get over there to the side of the fence. And keep in mind, I don't think Sanford's home because the car ain't there. But I get over there by the fence and I hear something stirring around. I mean, listen, if I thought Sanford was home, I'd have went over there and knocked on his damn door. But I didn't think he was there. So, our back rod. The yellow bass got lively. I heard him wiggling around back there. He got jumpy for some reason. I guess just the tease. Just the tease. Something spooked him a little bit. But anyway, I get over there by the fence. I hear something banging around there in Sanford and Son's shed. And so I holler over there. I say, hey, you over there? Well, what do you know? Out around the corner, here comes old Sanford himself. I said, hey, you know anything about this tire got thrown in my yard today? He said, yeah, I threw it in your yard. How about you tell me why you threw it over here on my side of the fence? He said, you're desecrating my dog's grave. He said, my dog died right after I moved in this place, and it's been buried right here. So how about you tell me how this tire got over here? I said, I was pissed at this point because now this sumbitch is accusing me of trashing his already trashy property. Keep in mind, my yard, I ain't got nothing in my yard, folks. Nothing. This guy's got trash everywhere on his side of the fence, and he's got the nerve to accuse me. So I am pissed. So I said, first off, you must not give a shit about your dog, because this tire has been here for months, maybe over a year now. And I said, before that, you had this old utility trailer sitting here. And before that, you've had kudzu growing along this fence forever because your fat, lazy ass won't maintain it. So I have to spray it all the damn time. But I said, you want to know where that tire come from? I can tell you exactly where it come from. I said, the people you had here in the camper illegally, when they come and got that utility trailer, it had a flat tire. Our worm, hold on, our worm. Our worm finally got eaten. Oh, and he dropped it. He didn't get the worm, though. You know, I'm going to leave him. Oh, y'all, behind us. Oh, my gosh, something got after him. I'll send him back down. Something got after him right there, y'all. Oh, something got after him again. Let me just hold this in my hand a second. Got a circle hook on this one. I gotta be careful not to jerk the hook. Something got after him while I was distracted with the worm. All right, let's put him back in the rod holder. Y'all keep an eye on that rod now. That thing goes down, we in for a good time. He's still, that rod tip's moving a little bit. He's still alive. Something had him. Something bit him, but he's still alive down there. All right, let's lower our worm down. I'm gonna lower that worm just like that. Just hooked on the end. But anyway, again, Sanford & Son's accusing me of this, wanting to know how the tire got from my side of the fence onto his. And, hold on, our back rod. Something's after him, buddy. He's running from something. Something just got him, I think. Something just got him. Something ate him. Oh, here we go. Something ate our live yellow bass. Oh, something just ate him. Something gobbled him up, man. Big live bait goes down. Oh my gosh, it ain't gonna be very big though. Look at this. Oh, there goes our cut bait. We doubled. Let's grab this one. Gosh, man, I had such high hopes for that yellow bass. Oh, he's got a friend with him. Look over here. He's got a friend that's come up with him. I think he's still around him. Let's do something right here, folks. Let's do something right here. Has this one got any friends with him? Grab one of these. Here, grab this tail over here. Let me just toss that up. See if we can get one to come over here and eat it. Look at this fish right here. See if he'll eat that bait right there. He just ate it. He just ate it right there. I don't know if you can see that on camera or not with the glare. He followed that other one up. Now here goes our worm. We're tripled. We're tripled, y'all. Plus we got the other one we just dropped the bait right down to. We're on a pile of fish, man. We are tripled. No, we ain't no more. The worm let us down. Man, oh man, oh man, y'all. Let's get this one first. Yep. We had 3 fish on at the same time, y'all. 3 at a time we've been reeling them in today. What a day, man. First 30, 45 minutes we sat down there. Couldn't get nothing going. Couldn't get anything happening. Then we made one change. And boom, all of a sudden now, we reeling them in left and right. Here's what I'm gonna do. We ain't got another live bait to put on, but I'm gonna go ahead, this other piece of shad in the floor here. Let's just put that whole back half of that larger shad on our heavy tackle rod and send it down. There we go. All right. Now let's get this one. Come on over here, fish. Whoo, buddy. Our back rod. We just dropped it down. It's already getting hit. Something was after it. Let's get this one going real fast. Well, that was exciting when that live bait got eat. Wasn't exciting once I saw the fish, but he's done got it now though. That piece of shad. We don't need but one rod here, folks. All we need is one rod right now. There's so many fish right here. Why these fish are here, I don't know. again, when we were here last week, I didn't see anything on the graph that would be like an object or anything for them to hold on. You know, the creek mouth is in front of us, which they're definitely not there, of course, because, I mean, we didn't do worth a crap sitting there. So why are they holding right here? I don't know. But, I mean, filming this on Tuesday. It was last Tuesday we were here. Because Wednesday I went down to Chattanooga and fished. So, yeah, for a week now, there's apparently been a pile of fish sitting here. Unknown reason. All right, let's get this stuff out of the way. Let's get rebaited here, y'all. Grab some more. I don't know what we're going to put. I'd like to have another big live bait to put on that other rod over there, but we're going to have to catch one first. Let's use, I mean, we know there's some dang yellow bass. We caught that other yellow bass on a smaller shad. Let's put another real small piece on this. And, you know, if we catch catfish on it, fine. But if we can maybe get another bass we could use for bait, that'd be awesome too. And we'll put that other bigger shad there. We'll stick the head on the heavy tackle rod. I think something just hit me. Got him. I got him. I got him on that small shad. It's small, whatever it is. What is it? I was looking right into the sun. I couldn't see. Oh, it's another yellow bass, a big one. I'll be damned, man. We drop a small shad down there, we get one of these. This is a big old yellow bass, man. That thing's huge. Yellow bass, I mean, they're a smaller fish anyway, but this one right here, buddy, look at that. Look at that. Let's do with him like we done the other one. I'm going to give that fin a little haircut. That just helps you get when something eats them, I feel like that dorsal fin can prevent a hookup. You know, if it gets up there around your hook point or your barb. So I like to go ahead and trim it off if possible. Getting through them dang scales though. You can see I got a dang scale on the hook point there. How about that? I drop another small shad down and we get us a yellow bass that we're going to drop down and hopefully get him devoured. I mean, if we're going to have Sanford and Son's story interrupted, it might as well be from just endless fish action here, right? We were right in the good part of the story, though, between me and Sanford. Okay. All right. Let's set that back there. Put it back in the rod holder. Let's grab well, we don't necessarily need another live bait right now. So let's put this head on. Oh, that's exciting, man. A small piece of shad, a small piece of cut bait, and boom, we're on the yellow bass. There's yellow bass and catfish all living down there in harmony right now. But none of them apparently want a damn worm, because we can't get a worm eat if our life depended on it. I'm going to put another worm down there, though, just because. And I'm going to try to get through this damn story about Sanford and Son. Just hook it one more time here. Okay, there we go. So, where's I at in the damn story? So anyway, Sanford Son, you know, he thinks I've thrown this tire over on him. And wants to know where it's come from. And so by God, I end up telling him exactly where it come from that old trailer Jethro and Ellie Mae had. And I was home that day. I was doing some stuff outside. I saw him throw it over there, right on, apparently on top of his dead dog's grave that he don't give a shit about, because it's been there for months, maybe a year or more. And before that, all this kudzu grows from his side of the property. I have to spray it all the time because his fat ass won't get out there and maintain it. So, you know, I'm pissed. And as soon as I tell him that, oh, he changes his tune, y'all, big time. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I thought it was you. I just come out here today and saw it, and I thought it had to have come from you because it wasn't mine. And you know, and then he starts to go immediately right into the victim card. You know, I've got health problems, and I'm a military veteran, I'm disabled, and blah, 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 blah. And look, what the hell does that have to do with anything? What the hell does that have to do with anything? You're able-bodied enough to pick up his tire and sling it over my fence. You know what I mean? Like don't go crying victim when you're the one that's in the wrong. You know, he just keeps going, oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm going to get the tire. I'll take it right now. I'll get that tire. It's like, yeah, you damn right you're going to get a tire. But I'll tell you who else is sorry. Me. I'm sorry. Because now I got to go down here and apologize to Weed Eater Man, who I was accusing of throwing his tire on me. When Weed Eater Man was acting all ignorant, how he didn't know how that tire got on me. It wasn't an act, folks. He legitimately was ignorant. He didn't know how that damn tire got on me. So I was like, oh, you know, Sanford keeps carrying on. I'm like, I got to go down here and apologize to Weeder. He's, oh, I'll go down there. I'll talk to him. I'll tell him it was my fault. I said, hell no. I'm the one. I was a dick to him. I got to go down there and be the one to man up and apologize. So I go down there. Of course, Weed Eater guy's gone at that point. I missed my chance with him. Hopefully he'll come back. I don't know. There may be a story on social media from him right now. He may have his own social media story talking about how some crazy guy that lives up on the hill come out there while he's weed eating, just doing his job, and accusing him of throwing some tire in a yard or something. He's probably got his own version of this. I mean, I was so freaking mad, man. Like, you don't throw trash on somebody's property. You don't do, I mean, and again, common sense. You look at Sanford & Son's yard, there's shit everywhere. You look at my yard, now granted, my yard, it's not impressive, okay? Hell, there's more dirt than there is grass. And the grass I do have is mostly weeds. Okay, my yard, most of you out there watching and listening to this right now, you wouldn't be impressed with my yard at all. Okay, you would scoff at it. Your yard is probably 1,000,000 times better than mine. But you know what my yard is? It's mine. I worked my ass off to call that piece of ground that I have home. It's mine. I own it outright. I've paid it off. It's mine, and I'm proud of it. And this YouTube crap I do now, coming out here and just fishing and earning a little scratch from these videos, as this fish is going to earn some scratch. Look right here. Boy, we got to run right here, y'all. On that shad head, he's running with it. He's making a hell of a run. This is a nice takedown right here. I love these takedowns. It never gets old, man. Never gets old. Especially on this lighter gear. I've been so into the lighter gear. Catching fish is fun anytime, but the lighter gear just, it adds something to it. The drag screaming, the lighter action rods, you feel every roll and head shake. He's wanting to get back there in that back line, though. He needs to swim this way. We don't want to tangle. I think we got us one. He's got in that back line. He's just going to go where he wants to go right now. We just going to hang on and enjoy the ride. We'll pick out a tangle when it gets up here. Ain't no big deal. I got half of mine though to reel up that worm that ain't catching nothing, and move the live bait rod to the other side. That way we'll have a better look at it when it goes down. Because the worm ain't doing diddle. You know, I may do that. It's just, anyway, just move the rods. Switch them. Move the live bait up front. Move the worm in the back. He come out of the other line. Yeah, that's a better one right there. That may be the biggest one of the morning. I believe this one is going to be the biggest one thus far. Yeah, I think so. Grab your net over here, y'all. Oh, buddy. Business picked up. To quote Jim Ross. Take my time. I ain't gonna horse him with this lighter line and light wire hooks. 15-pound test. Number 1 sized shiner hook here. On this flat, 20 something feet deep, give or take. We're just on them, man. We're sitting here whacking them. Oh, come here. Oh, he went down. Come back up here, fish. Let's try it again. I got a terrible net man with me today. These people don't know how to net a fish. I'm going to have to reel down a little bit and reel some of that slack down. Come on over here. Come on. Swing back around this way, fish. Swing around do-si-do. There we go. Yeah, front camera worthy right here. Oh, goodness. That's the biggest one of the morning so far. That one's actually got a little weight on it. Whoo, that's nice, y'all. Nice right there. Got that hook right in the whisker. Right on the edge of the whisker anyway. There we go. All right, put y'all back up here in the front seat one time. Y'all get a picture of me and this fish. That camera's crooked, but we're gonna roll with it. Okay. Nice, man. Nice. That's more like it. We liable to bust a dang whopper here today, y'all. We just liable to. Oh, he's wanting to flop. He's wanting to flop. Get off. I can feel it brewing in him. He wanted to get out of here. Okay. Y'all, we'll fist pump that, buddy. Whoo, nice. Nice, man. All right, let's take a look at our bait. Let's take a look at what it looks like over here. Is it still functional? I'm gonna redo it. We have so few bigger shad heads. Got plenty of shad. Very few larger ones. So I'm gonna reuse that head. We'll give it a few minutes down there, see if it gets eat. I have to believe it probably will. Let's reel up our worm, if it's still on here. It's gone, of course, okay. No surprise there. Let's reel up our bass. And I'm gonna drop him back down up here up front. I feel pretty good about our back rod holders there. We've tested them out a little bit. Let's put this up front where we'll have eyes on it at all times. And then we'll do our worm rig here in the back. Okay. There it is. Although this worm Larry, if you're watching this right now, channel member Larry, this is a terrible idea you had. Terrible idea, Larry. You think of a better one next time. Okay. There we go. Wouldn't it be something if we hooked a big sturgeon on this, though? Boy, that'd be the bee's knees, man. All right, I think we're about to have everything reset. So anyway, I go down there. I'm going to try to talk to Weed Eater guy, give him an apology, because I owe him that. Thank God, y'all, the Weed Eater guy didn't smart off to me when I was smarting off to him, because things would have went real bad. I was so mad at that point. I was so angry. Because, I mean, again, like I was saying there for that last fish hit, like that piece of ground, most of you wouldn't be impressed by it. It wouldn't mean anything to you. But to me, it's everything, because I know how hard I had to work to get it. This YouTube stuff I do now, filming videos and making a little money from it, this YouTube crap didn't pay for my house. Okay? I had my house and my land paid off before I ever started this YouTube channel. So all of that money was hard work. Long hours on my feet. I was a nurse. We've talked about this other videos. I was doing the travel nurse stuff, working ERs all over the damn country to pay off my debt. My house, my land, student loans, vehicles. Like, I had everything paid off prior to ever starting a YouTube channel. So I know how hard I had to work. I know how many long shifts, long hours, all the overtime I had to pull to pay for what I have. So even though my grass in my front yard may be mostly weeds, and there's more dirt than weeds even, it's mine, and I'm proud of it, and I take care of it. I got pride in it. So when some asshole neighbor of mine trashes my property, because they got no self-respect. I mean, you can just look at this guy and tell he ain't got no self-respect. I mean, dude's 300 pounds if he's an ounce. You look around his property, there's trash everywhere. How the hell he noticed this tire amongst all the other trash over there, I'll never know. But regardless, like, you can just tell, like, him and I are polar opposites. I'm proud of what I got. I take care of what I got, and he don't. So for somebody like him to have such little respect for me and my property, he's going to pick up a tire and sling it over the fence. It just makes me want to stomp his head in. Okay? That's what it brings. That's the emotion that it brings out in me. And you can argue, you can have a debate right now amongst yourself whether you'd be pissed off at that kind of thing or not. And again, like I said before, it goes back to your life experience. We all grow up differently. We all experience different things in life. And those experiences shape us and mold us into who we are. So you may have experienced something that now makes you react a certain way when you experience it again. Whereas if I'm in that same situation, it may not bother me at all. I'll be like, what's this person so angry about? But in this situation, when somebody just trashes my property that I had to work so hard to get, it sets me off, man. It just sets me off. So I after all this, I don't think Sanford will ever throw anything on my property again. I would be shocked if he does. But at the same time, too, I still hate living next to that sumbitch. He's a piece of trash. His property's trash. And I can only hope that the next neighbor, whether Sanford eventually moves or if I'm fortunate enough to outlive him, people like him, they're usually like cockroaches. But I can only hope the next neighbor won't be as bad. Like, that person's going to have to try real hard to push my buttons the same way Sanford & Son has done repeatedly over the last several years that he's been there. And he's been there 5 or 6 years now. It was around COVID. They put that. Well, I bought that house 20 years ago. And when I first got that place, the area where Sanford's house is now was just like a storage area, basically, for like a construction company. They'd have some heavy equipment up there sometimes, or they'd bring in piles of rock or something like that. Like, they'd put stuff up there. And for the longest time, I thought, man, this is great to have them right next to me, because that means I'll never have a neighbor right there. And where my house is positioned at, I've got 4 acres, but where my house is positioned, that area is the only place where I could have a neighbor like right on top of me. And so when I bought the house and I saw that over there, I'm like, man, I'll never have a neighbor over there, because the construction company has it, and there's all that debris, and then it drops straight off a steep hillside. I'm like, there's not enough space for them to put anything up there. Well, you know, this day and time, they can put a trailer anywhere. And so Sanford & Son gets that property, and they put a trailer up there, and now I've had a neighbor for the last 5 or 6. Technically, I've had multiple neighbors, because when he had Walter White and Jesse Pinkman living in the camper right there by the fence, I had them people too. But they've just been so bad. They're just so trashy, and I just hate it. I hope the next people will be better. Be quieter, and keep their property up, and not trash me, you know? And I say be quieter because Sanford & Son, about every weekend, he'll be out there in his shed about 6 a.m. in the morning beating something with a hammer. And my bedroom is on that side of the house, so you ain't got that big a space. He's got his shed right next to the fence, which, you know, I don't know if that's allowed or not with setback lines and whatnot. I need to look into that after this, because I hate him so damn bad, get him to move that damn thing. But nevertheless, it's right there. So when he's beating and banging on metal at 6 a.m. and you trying to sleep in on a weekend morning, he's over there waking your ass up. There ain't no courtesy over there. I've thought numerous times I'd like to get me an air horn and go out there and blast it about 2 o'clock in the morning and wake them up like they do me and my wife on weekend mornings. Now, this time of year, it ain't a big deal, because, I mean, hell, I'm up anyway. I get up so early during the week to go fishing. On the weekends, I normally wake up anyway, even without setting an alarm. But other times of the year, where I'm fishing in the afternoons, it's still incredibly obnoxious. Have somebody being that damn loud at 6 o'clock in the morning. Now, I get it. Some of y'all out there, you saying right now, you taking Sanford's side. Like, well, it's his property. If he wants to get out there at 6 a.m. and do it, he can. And you're right, he can. Totally within his rights. He can get out there at 6 a.m. in the morning and make as much noise as he wants to. That is his right. But is it the courteous thing to do when you got a neighbor that close? No. And I'm a type of person, y'all, I'm going to show you about as much courtesy as you show me. If you're nice to me, I'm going to be nice to you. If you're respectful of me, I'm going to be respectful of you. If you're an asshole to me, I will try to be an even bigger asshole to you. That's how I roll. So when Sanford wants to be somebody that just don't show any courtesy, I'm more than fine not showing any courtesy back. That's the game we can play. We can do that, folks. We can have that kind of relationship. I'm not the type of person that needs to be friends with everybody. You know, society today, everybody wants you to conform. We're all trying to, all the talking heads on the TV set and social media and stuff, everybody's trying to enforce their will upon you to make you conform, to come around to whatever side of thinking they're on, whether it's politics, sports, life events, it don't matter. Everybody thinks that we all should think and feel the same way. That ain't how I grew up. We can be different. We don't have to get along. Oh, our worm. We got another yellow bass. We got another yellow bass here on the worm. How about that? Oh, where's that hook at? Oh, he's bleeding. He ate that worm. He got it in the gills back there. Well, you know what? We got us a yellow bass for some cut bait. He ain't gonna make it as far as keeping him alive, but we'll throw him in the cooler and he will be a nice piece of cut bait for us. I'm just happy to catch something on the dang worm. Here I thought we would catch things like that with the worm easier than with the shad, and that has not been the case. We've been catching the other stuff with the shad. And I'm gonna reel up that other shad over there, that head we dropped back down, and put on a fresher piece. And before we get this worm reset. But yeah, folks, I don't feel like we ain't got a head on here. Somehow our head got knocked off or ripped off. I guess that's why we hadn't caught one in a while. We done got robbed again. But yeah, I don't feel like we all need to get along. We can be different. We can be different. We can have different views of sports teams, of politics. Like, we can have different views and coexist. I may not want to interact with you because our views are so different, but we can all coexist as long as we are all respectful of each other, of our personalities and our boundaries. If everybody will be respectful, then we can coexist having different thoughts and opinions and beliefs. But when there is no respect, when somebody like Sanford is like, oh, well, there's a tire on my dog's grave that I ain't noticed for a year. It must have come from this guy. Let me just sling it over on his yard. Well, you know what? At that point, there ain't no courtesy. There ain't no respect. Now you got a bitter enemy. And I was already a bitter enemy of his because I hate his guts. You know, he could have come and knocked. He could have come and knocked on my door, asked me about that tire if he thought I'd done it, and I would have, in a more polite way, told him where that tire come from. Just like if I had known he was home when I got done with Weed Eater Man, who was pleading ignorant because he truly was ignorant, I was going to go up there and knock on Sanford's door, but the car was gone. I didn't think he was home. Oh, back rod. The worm. Oh, gone. What about the worm? Oh, the worm's still on there. Let's try it again. Okay. But all he had to do was come knock on my door. If there was any question, knock on my door. But that ain't the route he chose. He chose throw it in my yard. And at that point, like, you know, it's game over. You know what I mean? So I don't know how most people would react and feel in that situation, but to me, that's just spitting in my face, man. Because again, I'm proud of that place, man. It's a small house on a piece of ground that you can't hardly get grass to grow on, but it's mine. This fish is mine too. His ass is mine. We just dropped the piece of cut bait down, and there's just a bunch of fish here, man. They're just stacked up on the edge of this flat right in front of this old creek channel. Not in the creek channel, but up here beside it. Got us another one right here. All right, skinny dink right here. Old skinny mini. He's been on the spawn diet pattern from the looks of him. Up, get out of here, acting that way. You know how skinny he is, though. He's been on the spawn diet, the starvation, while they've been on the nest. Get this out of the way. Grab you another bait out of here, folks. I'll tell you what. Or do we want to save this yellow bass for tomorrow? I'd like to. I think I want to save him because he's the freshest. Now let's go through our other shad here. Let's go through our other shad. This is another smaller one right here. We may catch another yellow bass on this. That'd be okay. We'll throw him in the cooler too. Okay, there it goes. But yeah, man, I ain't got no tolerance for people like that. It's gonna trash my property. I work real hard to maintain that place. Even though it ain't the nicest property, I work hard. I spend every year hundreds of dollars and a bunch of my time spraying weed killer to fight off the kudzu. Because, Sanford and Son, since he moved in, he ain't never maintained the kudzu. I got to spray it all the time. If he would just maintain his side of the fence, we wouldn't have any issues. But he don't. So kudzu growth, right there on his dog's grave, apparently, where that tire's been, he's been kudzu all around it, and it overtakes my fence if I don't keep spraying. But I have to do that every year. Take a bunch of my time and money spraying weed killer. Because he's too lazy, too inconsiderate to maintain his property. So I just don't like people like that, man. I don't want to interact with him. But we could coexist with some boundaries, be respectful of each other. But no, that's out the window. Boy, he changed his tune. Oh, I'm sorry. Asshole. Well, that tire's gone, in case any of y'all wonder. I don't think he'll ever throw anything on me ever again. But, boy, it made me so mad, y'all. I was so mad. I was fuming. I'm so thankful that Weed Eater Man kept a cool head. Because, I went down there. I put my damn shoes on, expecting him to have something smart ass to say, and then it was going to be on, because I was at that point. We'd crossed that line with I got a bad temper anyway. We crossed that line with it. It was on. But he was just so adamant and denying it, pleading ignorant. He was playing such a good act, it kind of in my mind, even though I knew it was him, which it wasn't, but in my mind, I knew it was him, but I'm like, well, shoot fire. Was it Sanford? Even though Sanford's car's gone, I didn't think he was home. But yeah, thank goodness he's not as fiery as I am. And I have a temper problem, okay? I come by it honest. My mom, she's the same way. She's always been like that, and she can go from 0 to 100 in the blink of an eye. And I can too in certain situations. When something like this happens, where it hits one of those triggers in me, things can ramp up real quick. And it's a problem of mine. I realize it's a problem. I feel like I have gotten a little better at it as I've gotten older. Most situations now, I try to take a breath as our worm got hit and didn't hook up. I feel like we've missed way more fish with the worm than we've landed today. But the worm's still on, so. I do feel like I've gotten a little better. When I was young, when you're young, you're just young and dumb. You don't have any self-awareness, right? But as you get older and you start to kind of question things about yourself and what makes you tick, and do things that you do, and you get a little older and you make some mistakes in life and you look back and okay, I got in this situation and it turned out bad for me. What could I have done differently? was I at fault in this situation? If I had said or done this instead of what I'd done, would we have had a different, better outcome? And with life experience, we all screw up. We all make mistakes. And when enough time has passed, and you've made as many mistakes as I have in life, you kind of realize that some of these mistakes are self-inflicted. And so I have enough self-awareness to know that my temper is a problem and has been a problem at certain times in my life. So I try to be better about it. And for the most part, I feel like I am in most situations. I'm able to recognize this and try to take a breath before I just flip that switch. But then every once in a while, there's going to be a situation like this arise where it's just boom. I got no control over it. It just happens. It just happens. It's on. You know, I can't. And it'll probably always be like that. Things like that. Theft is another one. Those of you that have been with me and fished with me on these videos for a while, you've heard me tell the stories of people stealing from me and whatnot, and how that pisses me off. This fish ain't gonna make me mad though. He's gonna run a little bit. Let's reel in another one. That wasn't down there long. We didn't have it down. We are just on some fish here, buddy. You know, a couple fun sizers for the most part. It's been small fish, but hell, when you're catching them on the light tackle like this, fish like this, you're going to get a nice takedown and some drag pull, and it's fun. And I like catching fish. It's fun reeling them in. You still get that excitement when the rod goes down. Like this is a good time, y'all. I don't know why so many fish are here. I don't know why I can't catch anything deeper than about 25 feet. But as long as I stay in the areas where fish are at and we're catching them, it's a good time. All right, fish, go on. Oh, eater size right there. Little eater. Let's take a look at our bait, see if we want to switch it. Hell, it's still got the innards right there in it. Let's just rehook it and try to catch another one on it. But yeah, like I've had some theft issues in my life I've told the stories about, and lately it's mostly digital theft, like people stealing videos and stuff, which, I mean, look, you know, it's different certainly than taking a physical item, right? Like somebody breaking in your house and taking some family heirloom or what, pick the object. Pick the object in your house that has some value somebody's going to steal. Versus somebody stealing your digital property. It's different, right? Like if somebody stole a physical object from me, that's going to piss me off more than somebody stealing a digital item from me, like a video or picture or something from social media. But theft is theft. And even though it may hit me differently, it still pisses me off to no end, because again, this right here, this content crap, this is my livelihood. This is what I do for a living now, and I have for the last 6 years. I pay my bills, I keep the lights on, all of it exclusively through this. So when people steals my videos and post them as their own, that takes money out of my pocket. So it pisses me off. That's one of them triggers, man. It's just one of them triggers. And I recognize this. I understand that about myself. But it's always, man, theft whether it's physical property or digital property, it's always going to hit me a little differently than some people based on my life experience. Some people won't be nearly as bothered by it. I see a lot of content creators. I see their stuff get posted by other accounts. I see people make these spoof pages, pretending to be these other content creators, and they don't care. I've talked to some other content creators about, like, man, it ain't worth my time. Yeah, they're making some money off me, but hell, the money I would lose filling out copyright claim forms, it ain't worth my time to pursue it. And they're not wrong. I mean, when I look at how much time I have spent in the last few years filling out copyright claim forms so that Facebook can drag their feet getting around to them and stuff, like it's a lot of time, and it probably isn't worthwhile for me to do so. But at the same time too, like, I don't want somebody making a penny off me. Not a penny, not a dime, not a few dollars. I don't want them making any money off me. Not by stealing from me. Because it's life experience, man. I've told you all this story before. When I was a kid, like, I had that damn Sony Walkman. I'll tell the story again for those of you that's either new or maybe missed that episode where I talked about it. But, like, when I was a kid, I got a Christmas present. And it was a Sony Walkman, the Sport version. It was yellow, and it had water-resistant rubber buttons. And some of you kids out there maybe listening to this right now, you young people, you don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. You don't know what a Sony Walkman was, but it was a cassette player. Hell, some of y'all probably didn't even know what a cassette tape was. But when I was a kid, I was an introverted kid. I'm introverted now. I've been that way my whole life. Like, I need space. I need a break from people. And so I would take that Sony Walkman and I would take it to school with me. And after having dealt with people all day at school, I would just be exhausted. Like, just mentally exhausted from the social interaction all day. It was overwhelming. So when I would get on that school bus for my hour drive home, because I had to ride the bus as a kid, and the way the school bus route run, I was the first one on and the last one off. It was terrible. But I would put them damn headphones on and listen to my Vanilla Ice cassette tape, and I would have my break from people. It wasn't just the Sony Walkman. It was what it represented. It was my peace. It was my break from people on that ride home from school. And one day at school, that Sony Walkman got stolen out my backpack. And, as a kid, I was a young kid, I didn't have a job. I didn't have a way to replace that Sony Walkman, and the things were expensive. You think the hell of a cassette player now. I don't even know if you can buy one, but if you did, they'd probably, some junk store would probably give it to you. You go to a thrift store, they'd probably give you a damn cassette player. They probably can't get rid of them things. But back then, I don't remember how much they cost, probably $50, $60, which as a kid, that was a lot of money. And I got it for Christmas, and Christmas was a long time away. Like, my chances of getting another one, and so when it got stolen out of my backpack that day, it took more from me than just a physical object. It took my peace. It took my sanctuary that I needed. That was how I recharged my batteries. Is just putting them headphones on and looking out the window on the school bus on the way home with Ice Ice Baby playing in the foam headphones. Because back in them days, there wasn't no earbuds. You'd put actual headphones on, and little pieces of foam over your ear, and you'd play Ice Ice Baby, and then you'd have to hit the button and rewind the cassette tape and try to do it just right so that you'd be at the beginning of the... we didn't have no iTunes back then, folks. This was a long time ago. But that happened at a young age with me, and it changed me. It forever changed me with how I viewed theft. And after that, anytime anybody would steal anything from me, I don't care what the value was, it just hit different. And it hit different because of my life experience. Like that, it affected me in such a way that now if somebody just steals a picture off my social media and posts it as their own because they're seeing it's get a bunch of engagement and they want to make a few dollars off of it, you know, it ain't worth my while. It ain't worth my time to go fill out that copyright claim form to try to stick it to them, but I will, and I'll do it every time because I hate a thief. And that's never going to change. That's one of those things. I could probably go to therapy for the next 15 years. We're never going to work that out of me, folks. That's life experience has shaped me into being who I am from that aspect. We can all have the ability to change incrementally. This fish is going to change. He's going to change his mind about biting this bait with a hook in it. I wish something would bite this live yellow bass over here on the other rod. That's what I wish. Something's liable to get him too. Something got the other one. It's a matter of time. We're liable to get some more yellow bass too. Any more we get, we're just going to throw them in the cooler. This is another eater right here, eater size blue. Come on in, Blue. What about you, Catfish? You got anything that just triggers you? That's something that just maybe pushes you over the edge? I guarantee you this fish has got something that bothers him. Everybody's got something. Everybody. Get out of here, fish. Every single one of you all out there watching or listening to this right now, all of you have something that's just gonna hit you differently. You know, I feel like overall, and maybe I'm giving myself more credit than I deserve, but I feel like overall I'm a pretty laid back person that's fairly easy to get along with. I mean, as long as you don't mess with me, I ain't gonna mess with you. If you're polite and respectful of me, I'm going to do the same for you. But when those lines are crossed, I become a different person. And I would assume that's the case with most people. Once you hit that trigger, whatever that trigger happens to be with you, you become a different person. And thieves and my trashy neighbor bring out that other person in me. It ain't something I'm particularly proud of. I wish it was different. But it just is what it is, man. And like I said, you could go to therapy the next 15 years, have some shrink do crap with you, and maybe you make incremental improvements, incremental changes. But some things that happen when we're young just shape us for the rest of our life. You ain't gonna therapy your way out of it. And I'm not knocking therapy. Therapy works for a lot of people. It does a lot of good for people. There's a lot of bad things happen in life, and I think and I'm fortunate that I talk about these things that piss me off and whatnot, but I mean, I've got it easy compared to a lot of people and how they've grown up and how they've lived. So therapy's good for a lot of people. It helps them figure out how to process things they maybe couldn't process on their own. But once you are that person, and once this fish, we just put that bait, and he dropped it. We just put that bait down there. They're on it instantly. He took off with it too. Let's grab one of these body pieces down here. Grab one of these tails. We'll snip the side of the tail off though, just to get it bleeding both sides. But let's drop that down there. But I mean, you know, once you're of a certain age and you've had something that's, oh, our worm back here. Our worm, will he stay hooked up? I think this might be another yellow bass or white bass. It is. I felt the head shakes right away on the worm. All right. He's another one that's going to go, when you're done flopping around fish, you're going to go in the cooler. Yep, you are. We're going to use you. In fact, now that we got two of you, we may use, when we rebait that front rod next, we're going to put on a piece of yellow bass. You got to be careful with these things too, y'all. Let me tell you. These things, them fins right there, like a needle. Same thing down here. They will stick you, boy, they'll stick you something good, buddy. I can't tell the glare in my glasses. Is that a yellow bass or a white bass? I think it's a yellow bass. I can't half see today with that sun the way it is. Let's put another worm on. Old Larry suggested this idea in my channel members video. My channel members can comment, and so I'm able to interact with them. And Larry suggested this. This is on him. This idea today, it's all Larry, folks. It's worked out. It's got us 2 extra yellow bass. Ain't done much as far as the catfish goes, which is surprising. I figured these small catfish would be all over a worm, but not so much. They've been on the shad. But yeah, man, like I said though, you are who you are. Maybe you can change a little bit throughout your life experiences, tragedies, just some self-awareness. But at our core, we are who we are. As our live bait over here, look at him, he's getting lively. Something's after him, man. Something got him fired up. Our rod tip stood straight up. He come up in the water a little bit. Yeah, something spooked him. He's calmed down a little bit now, but I'd love to see that thing just get buried with either a big blue or a big flathead. Right in here is where we caught that big flathead last week. We got it on a shad head, a little quarter-size shad head. Nice flathead too. First flathead I'd caught in a while. Yeah, buddy. We on them today though. I think tomorrow, I was gonna fish tomorrow. I think I'm gonna come right back here. We ain't caught the monster here, but with the volume of fish and the fun sizers too that we're mixing in, the fact that there's, oh, he hit it. The fact that we've got some yellow bass around too, something else for them to eat, like I feel like there's a chance that we can maybe bust something big here at some point. So I think I might come back here tomorrow too. I'll charge this battery tonight and see if we can get to graph. See if we can get it working. I hope that's all it is, the battery. I had another, I'll tell you, I still got the graph, as a matter of fact. That Ray Marine, for those of you that's been with me a long time, you've seen me use that little Ray Marine Dragonfly graph on several different kayaks. It's on my Hobie Pro Angler right now. But it's like that. You can have it turned off and it will still pull just a little bit of power. So if you ain't used it in a while and you ain't unplugged it from the battery, you're gonna go out there and have a dead battery. And I didn't know that this Humminbird was like that, so I'll have to well, assuming that's what the problem is. But if it is the case, then I'll just have to start. I've got a little quick release from the wire to the graph to my battery, so I'll just have to start unplugging it when I get done, just so it don't drain. And I guess too, we could, of course we don't need it right now, but I was going to say we could plug it into our motor battery, because I've got them same quick releases on it for my power poles. Which I'll tell you this, so I rigged me up a power pole mount for this kayak for the carp trip. So on my carp trips, I like to use power poles to anchor myself. I had bought those a few years ago, and I had them on my Hobie Pro Angler. And initially, I put them both on the back of the Hobie Pro Angler. But they were so close together that when the wind's blowing like it is out here now, you'd get a weather vaning effect. It would spin. I didn't want to spin, so I ended up mounting them to a board that laid crossways right behind my seat on the kayak, and that way I could have them right behind the seat on each side. And that kept the kayak from spinning, whether it was in the wind or you hook into a big fish and it's pulling you to one side, the kayak would stay straight. And two, I didn't need the remotes because the power poles were reachable by hand. I don't need the remotes anymore. I can just push the buttons on top of the power pole. So it really worked out well. But that was my Hobie Pro Angler, which I'm going to be selling, because this is going to be taken over as my primary big kayak. I still want to fish out of the links most of the time, but like for tournaments and days like today where I'm making a really long run to access this area and I want the motor, this will be my primary kayak for that kind of thing and for the carp trips. So I wanted to rig up a mount for them power poles on this kayak. So I got me a board. Well, I actually took the board off the Hobie Pro Angler, and I just had to redo the holes to mount it on them power pole, the gear track. Well, we had this rod over here, I think. Something messing with, but this one's went down. We got another one here, y'all. How many fish have we caught now? We couldn't do diddly poo for the first 30 minutes today. I wonder what would have happened if we had been set up here at first light. Could we have maybe busted a monster or busted a big flathead at first light? If I can get my butt out of bed in the morning, we'll come back out here and try this again and be set up here on this part on top of the drop at first light and see what happens. Fish, you've turned over my worms here now. You better check yourself, fish. Don't come in here making a mess. That ain't nice of you, fish. He said, I'll tell you about not nice, Justin. You put a hook in my face. I thought I was getting a free meal and it had a hook in it. Let that be a life lesson for you, fish. There ain't no free meals in this life. Ain't nothing free, fish. Nothing. All right. Put that back behind us. But yeah, so let's grab this yellow bass. Or grab one of them. Where'd that other one go? There it is. Yeah, all right. Let's just put this thing on. Take a head bait maybe. Need a knife for this, but ain't got a knife in here. All I got's these scissors. Let's just see what happens. Let's put us a head bait on and see what we can get with this thing. If it works out, great. If not, we'll go back to the shad. We know there's fish here. So let's see what we can get with it. The thing is, like I was saying this morning, you got all these catfish here, and they're down there sharing this section of water with a school of yellow bass, which we've now caught 3 of today, and we got some there last week too here. So you have to believe that some of them yellow bass are getting eat by the catfish. So if we offer up one here, a piece of cut bait, or the live bait case, a one struggling on a hook, maybe they'll gobble it up too. We'll find out. Put this back in the cooler. So anyhow, back to the story about the power poles. So I took that other board that I had mounted on my Hobie Pro Angler off, and I had to re-drill some holes, but I was able to do basically like I've done with this, but just lay it across there and mount the power poles to the gear tracks, essentially, having them just off behind the seat where I can reach them. And it worked pretty well on Friday there when I took it out to try them. Let me reel this in, make sure we still got a worm too. Yeah, we do. It worked pretty well. My concern is, long term, just like with the rod holders, working these screws loose, and I'll show you here. I don't know if you can see them too well or not. Do you see these screws in the gear tracks? And one of them right there, there's a hole. One of them screws done worked out. I don't know where the hell it went. But you've got them periodically through the kayak here, holding them gear tracks on. Well, if you got a rod holder mounted to that, over the course of time, the flex from the torque of the rods going down is going to wear back and forth on that thing, and eventually work them out, loosening the rail. And I've heard the stories of people having the whole gear track, rod holder, everything ripped completely off the kayaks. I am not a fan of mounting rod holders to this if you can help it. Now, my Hobie Lynx kayak, you can't drill into the hole. I have to use the gear tracks on it. Got no other choice. But if I do have a choice, like with this kayak here, I don't want to use them. So my concern is with power poles being mounted to this, when I drive them poles down in the ground, there's pressure lifting up. And I worry over the course of time, me shifting my weight, landing fish, casting and stuff with that upward pressure, that it's going to work them loose. It done okay on day 1, but how's it going to do on the 20th time, the 50th time that I use them poles? That I don't know. So we may have to rig up something else, possibly drill into the hole back there. Our yellow bass head got thumped. That was a thump, buddy. He thumped it, and then down it goes. Boy, he ain't pulling now, though. He ain't even pulling. Oh, he just come free. Our hook's a little small for that big a bait. It's a smidge small. We need a little bit bigger hook. We're going to roll with what we got, though. All right. Reset there. Nevertheless, it's nice to see it get eaten. But yeah, I don't know how it's going to work out with that power pole setup in the long term. But right now, it done okay on Friday. But worst case scenario, we'll just drill into the hole and mount it that way. And wait, oh, he's on it again. All right. And he's gone again. They're hitting it. It may even be small fish. hitting that bait, and they ain't getting the hook too. They're just getting maybe getting the back of the bait. If it's some of them dinks like we've caught, they won't maybe be able to eat the whole thing. Look, I just dropped it, bro. I just got it reset. There, he's on it again. I want to make sure you have it before I pick it up again, fish. You made me look foolish twice. Oh, our worm! Our worm! We got 2 of them on. We're doubled right now. One of you, grab that head bait up there, y'all. The one that hit the worm hit it with some authority. But I think he's for sure got it. He's been hooked up long enough. I think he's got the hook too. Man, doubled, buddy. Double trouble. Goodness gracious, we're on them. Okay, that's a dink. Let's see what we got here on this one. Where'd he go? Did he come off? How far he come off? I thought for sure he had it. Let's do this. Let's since we got this smaller hook, let me go through the meat here in the back. Do it like that, maybe get some of them scales away from there. Let's try it like that, see if that'll do us any favors. They're definitely showing interest in it. Just find one to eat it and the hook too. I thought he had it though, he was on it a while. All right, get your net over here, let's get this one. This one, it ate the worm. Worms have definitely not produced like the shad has. Although we have gotten 2 more bycatches with the worms versus just 1 with the shad. Although we got the... No? Did we get 2? We've got 4 yellow bass. We got 2 on each. 2 with the small shad and 2 on the worms. You see how good my arithmetic is. I done lost count. So even the worms ain't even producing more on the bycatch. There we go. Get out of here, fishy. Go enjoy the rest of your day, sir. Okay. Move that. Let's get this back in the rod holder here. Now let's put us another worm on. Yeah, so anyway, the power pole mount, we'll test it over the course of time. We'll come up with some solution if the gear tracks don't end up working out. But I feel like trip 1 with it was a success. It certainly worked well on my Hobie Pro Angler, although with it, I had it mounted to them Hobie H rails. And those are attached with brass inserts inside the hull. So they're a little bit more secure than just screwing gear tracks into the plastic. Like, you're not going to rip those off. You can pick them Hobie Pro Anglers up. You can pick them up by the H rails. It's not recommended to do that, but you can. I've seen people do it. So it's not going to rip out as easy. This time will tell. But I didn't do a whole lot of moving around and reeling in fish and stuff there on Friday on the carp trip, even though I had baited that area the day before. I threw out a bucket of horse feed so that it would hopefully increase our odds. I've done that before at times. You go back 3 or 4 years on my channel when I started getting into the carp fishing a little more. I done some experiments on here where I would bait an area 24 hours in advance and then go fish, or bait an area 48 hours in advance and then go fish it and see how you do. And it always worked better catching fish having baited. Now, it's not always practical to do that. And so most of my carp trips the last year or two, I haven't baited at all because it takes too much time. You got to take time out of your day on one day to go out there and do it and then go back the next. And so I'm like, I normally just take my chances, show up, and whatever happens, happens. But this past week, because I knew it was going to be a little windy and I was going to take that day off anyway from fishing or trying to film, I was like, well, I'll just go out there and bait it and we'll go hit it on Friday. And I didn't do any good. It was a skunk trip. As far as the carp and buffalo go, I didn't catch any. Now, I did catch 2 catfish, but I ended up scrapping the video. I'm like, I'm not going to subject you all to that long of a trip, because I planned on doing an unedited video like this. We just leave the camera rolling. And only have caught 2 catfish over the course of the trip. I'm like, screw that. I'm not going to subject you all to it. So I just scrapped it. But it was just one of them days, man. I saw one carp come up to the surface and splash, but that was the only carp I saw. There just wasn't a lot going on. But I mean, it was hot back there, man. The water temp's 90 degrees back there in that creek. I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not, but there was some shad back there. I mean, there was life. There was some bait fish around, but I just wasn't seeing any carp. And it was a bust of a trip, as most of my carp trips have been this year. You look at my channel this year, I've only posted, 3 or 4 carp videos total. And that was my first carp trip in a couple months, as I've been really, I got real focused there on the catfish exclusively when I was busting all them big fish in the spring. And then we get over into the spawn, and of course I've been playing with the light tackle more and keeping myself on a bite. And then we got one on the worm. Suddenly the worm's getting a little more action. Old worm. Night crawler. Okay. Oh, got us a channel cat. Well, we've had blues. We got a channel cat now. The only thing we're missing is that flathead, y'all. You think we'll get him today? He better come on. It's getting hot out here. You seen any flatheads down there, channel cat? He says he don't want to see no flatheads, and flatheads liable to eat him. They liable to gobble him up. He said if he sees a flathead, it might be game over. Well, you got it right in the bottom of the lip too, didn't you? Could have got that hook of my finger, fish, and you wouldn't have cared one bit. You got leeches all over your face. You nasty fish. You're a nasty, ugly old thing. You like my neighbor Sanford's son, just nasty, ugly old thing. That fish feels insulted me calling him my neighbor like that. He said that's about the worst thing I could have called him. Let's put another worm on. Yeah, I don't know why I've done so poorly on the carp this year. When I have gone, again, I ain't gone as much this year as in some years past, because I got on that big catfish bite, and then I got this kayak and I had to do some video work for Johnson Outdoors with it. So, I've had other stuff to do. It's kind of distracted me, but usually in these hot summer months, you'll see a ton of carp in the shallows. And I thought for sure after going out there and throwing out a bucket of horse feed that we would be good on Friday. We'd be able to sit there and just whack them and have us a good old time. Oh, our head. Will he stay hooked up though? We changed the hook position to the back of the head on this thing. It is a blue. I feel him rolling down there. A blue, or it could be a channel, I guess. I see him there. What is he? Blue cat. I think we're going to get our head bait back, although we'll probably go ahead and switch it out. He had him a big appetite, didn't he? See, when you get fish like this that hits one of these bigger baits, I mean, look at the, let me get this thing unhooked here and I'm going to show you this. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So when you get a fish with a mouth that big and you got a bait like that, like, it can be hard for them to get the bait in their mouth. So what oftentimes happens is they'll bite down on it, part of it, but he may have the bait like that and the hook be up here, and these fish just be clamped down, and you'll fight them. I've fought them all the way up to the side of the kayak before. They never had the hook, and then they'll just let go. They will have just bit down on the bait and be so aggressive they just won't let go of the damn thing. But a fish like that can't just easily engulf this bait, and so that happens oftentimes. I think this bait here, we're going to try a body section maybe of that yellow bass. Switch it out, get something a little fresher on there, since that one's been hit a few times. What do I do with that? Oh, there it is. We'll just take these shears here and we'll do some trimming best we can and cut a piece of this. These shad are easily cut with shears. You don't need a knife at all. Now some of these bigger baits, it'd be nice to have a knife and a cutting board. But I ain't never put any in here because I've been using shad all the time since I got this kayak. So these scissors work. They're a little slower. They get the job done. All right. Hook this through the belly, I think. Well, maybe. There we go. There we go. All right. Now we're back in the game. Dropping it down. Down it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. Do-si-do. Oops. There it is. My sinker got there before the bait did. Oh, now we got it. Throw that back in the cooler, save it. We've brought in so many fish, we're getting some standing water here in the floor of the kayak. I'm gonna pull them scuppers and drain some of that out right there real fast. I keep them scupper plugs in because when I'm netting shad, them smaller shad can go down the scupper holes and escape. But when you're bringing fish in with the net like we are today, you bring in a bunch of water and you get standing water here in the floor. But anyway, back to the carp that y'all don't care about. Like, I've just had a hard time this year. I've not done particularly well when I have gone. And it's just been an odd year. Like, normally carp are pretty dependable. But this year I've struggled, both the carp and the buffalo. I've got 3 or 4 videos on my channel from this year, and even in those videos, there weren't a lot of carp. I had like one day, it was that last time me and Daniel fished together. We ended up getting several, but it wasn't, for the number of carp we saw versus what we caught, even then it wasn't that impressive. So I don't know, I've just had a hard time. I'm not a carp fisherman. Or, I mean, I am, but I'm not good at it, so That's probably part of it. Just not being good at what I'm doing, not knowing what the hell I'm doing. But I do enjoy it, but it was disappointing to go out and have that kind of day where you just get completely, like I said, I got completely skunked because I did get the 2 blue cats. But you know what I mean. I got skunked on the target species. And it was disappointing for sure. So I scrapped the video. I was like, well, we'll get back to the catfish this week. So I took the weekend off and got us some bait yesterday. And this morning's looking good. I think tomorrow morning, I think there's going to be a slight, if the forecast holds, there'll be a slight chance of rain. We may have to bring an umbrella with us. Or if I get up in the morning, it's pouring down rain, then we'll just come back out here on Thursday maybe. But I want to do tomorrow what we should have done today and hit this area at first light and see if we don't have some bigger fish working through right there at that low light time period. Because I mean, by the time I got out here a little later than would have been ideal today anyway, because it's such a long run. I mean, I put in at the back of this creek downriver from here, and then it's a pretty long creek. I got to go all the way out of it and then keep coming up here. So, I mean, you're talking somewhere between 2 and 3 miles to make this run. So it takes a little while. Once I get on the water, it takes a while to get here, plus the driving time getting down here. So we got out here a little bit later than I would have been ideal anyway today. And then, of course, we're off in that old creek channel, 30-something feet deep, just nothing going on. And then we finally do move up here, and boom, we're getting bit right where we stopped getting bit there, or where I ended that last trip when we come out here. And I should have come back the following day then, but I was like, I want to go down Chattanooga and see what's going on. Let's go down there and drift the gorge and just see what's happening. And what a bust of a trip that was. I'm going to post that video, which you should have already seen it before this one comes out, because everything goes in sequential order on my channel. But that video hasn't released yet as of me filming this one this morning. But nevertheless, you should have seen it before you see this one. But I just didn't do any good. I got, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 fish, something like that. Which I didn't go down there expecting to catch as many fish as what we're getting here today. Like, I knew it would be limited numbers down there. But that area has had some big fish. I've caught some monster blues and some monster flatheads in years past. And, of course, that far south, those fish will have went on the nest before these fish, and they will have come off. And so now that we're catching more and more fish that are post-spawn, we're catching them real skinny and beat up and stuff, I have to assume those fish down there on Nickajack have already been off the nest. And so I thought we'll go down there and drift that gorge and maybe bust a monster. And it just didn't pan out like that. We didn't get much action, and the ones we got were pretty small. I did get a small flathead. I think the smallest fish of the trip was a flathead. So we did at least get one of those, but it was a dud. Definitely not worth the drive. But that's one of those situations too. Oh, we got our worm. We got another one on the worm. Nope, he let go. No, he's still on there. Is it another yellow bass? It is. Well, we're getting our bycatches after all, folks. We're getting our bycatches on these worms. We've hooked him kind of deep too. I seen him bleeding right there. Did you get it down in the gills there, partner? We were going to put you in the cooler anyway. How deep? Yeah, we can get that hook. He just got it kind of back there in the gills a little bit. But not the end of the world in this situation, since we're gonna, well, I thought I had it. Since we're gonna keep him for cut bait anyway. Oh, you danged old fish, you just flung blood All over me. There we go. I still ain't got it out of him. There we got it. All right, y'all. Another yellow bass. He just flung blood all over me, though. Okay. Nice. Well, the worm rod is paying off. It's not paying off in sturgeon. We ain't got that lucky sturgeon bite. Oh, our piece of yellow bass. There it goes. Oh my gosh. He just stole our bait. He stole our bait. We done been robbed. Dang it. That felt like a little better one too. When I first picked up on him, he felt a little better. Whether he was or not, we'll never know. Could have just been a hard pull and dink or something. Let's send our worm back down. Meanwhile, we've still got our other yellow bass over here on the other rod. Just waiting on him to get gobbled up. All right, worm goes down. Let's grab another piece of the yellow bass. Yeah, we're gonna sit here and catch us some bait while we catfishing. I have to believe this has probably happened in times past, but I was just using such big gear, big hooks, that just, I mean, you get that 10-aught size circle hook that we got on my gollywhopper rod there, which is the size of hook I normally use on the heavy gear. These yellow bass, like, there's no way they're going to be able to get that in their mouth. So even if they're hitting the bait, they'll never get hooked by that hook. Whereas these smaller hooks, they can eat them. They can get them. So it's a way for us to actually hook them when they do bite. And since they make pretty good bait, we are definitely going to use them. Now, these yellow bass aren't as much fun to catch on this gear because, I mean, they're small. They're a small fish even for the lighter tackle rods here. Like, they're a little too small for this, but still, it's another bite. It's bonus bait. Gives us a live bait option, at least with the other one. I kind of want to reel him up over there and just make sure he's still down there alive and well. Yeah, he took off. He took off when I start to reel him up. Yeah, you can see him there. He's still alive. A little too calm down there for my liking, but we'll send him back down. He's liable to get us something down there, folks. He's liable to. All right, put him back in the rod holder. Yeah. Did I imagine that, or did something just hit our worm? Yeah, something's after him. Maybe another bass. Did he get our worm though? Just reel it up and check. I think he might have. No, he got part of it. Looks like he bit part of the worm off. Tell you what, we got part of a worm here in the floor that I think one of the others threw off. Let's just stick it on there. I think that's what the sturgeon people do. They take a bunch of worms and stick them on a hook. I'd love to catch me a sturgeon. Someday, it's bound to happen someday. If I can get lucky and catch one in a cast net, surely I can get lucky and catch one on rod and reel. All right. We're back in it, folks. I don't remember what I was talking about now. The fish done broke my train of thought. Was I talking about anything interesting? Probably not. Probably wasn't interesting at all. Oh, behind us. He hit it again. The worm's suddenly getting more attention. You watch and see. I'll turn my back to it again. That's when it'll get hit. Turn my back to it, put my feet up. That's when we're going to get a rod go down. I'll tell you something else I've been hankering to do. And I tried it a little bit on my channel members video where I was talking about Sanford and Son. Because I'd went out, put that horse feed out there for the carp, and then filmed a channel members video before I went home and realized Sanford had thrown that tire over on me. But while I was out there, I took my Tenkara rod, and I wanted to try to put a worm on the fly and cast it. Because I had taken that Tenkara rod out on a trip recently, that a video that got scrapped. The mayfly hatch was going on one day, and I thought, man, it'd be great to take that Tenkara rod and get them fish that are eating mayflies off the surface. Well, I go back out and there's no mayflies anywhere. Like the hatch was over, they were gone. And I ended up catching like 4 bluegill, small bluegill at that, with that Tenkara rod, but I'm like, I can't post this. So, but anyway, since then I've really been in the mood. And I thought, well, even though the mayfly hatch is over and stuff, I wonder if I could take a worm and put on the fly and do it just like a normal ultralight trip and beat the banks and catch bluegill, bass, whatever's there with the worm. But I didn't know, could I cast that Tenkara rod with the weight of the worm? I mean, granted, a worm doesn't weigh hardly anything, but fly rods aren't meant to cast that kind of weight. At least not this Tenkara rod I got. Like you've got a hook with a piece of fur or feather on it for your fly. Like that's it. But I thought I'll try it. Worst case scenario, I'll break the tip on the cast, and that would suck, but you can buy the replacement parts for the Tenkara rods. Like each section and the tips, these Tenkara rod companies will sell them, because if they break, you don't want to have to replace the whole rod. You can just replace that individual section, because these are telescopic rods. And for those of you that may not be familiar with Tenkara fishing, it's fly fishing with a fixed line. There's no reel. Whatever amount of line you've got tied on to the end, that's how much line you have to work with. It's a very simple form of fly fishing. And the fish that I have caught on that rod, and I got it a few years ago. I've barely used it. I did one video on my channel after I got it a few years ago, fishing in a farm pond with it, catching some bluegill and stuff. And it was a lot of fun. And I've said since then, I'm going to take it up the mountains and do some trout fishing, and then I never do it. But I've really been in the mood lately. And so I took that rod out on that channel members video to try to cast the worms, and it didn't work out. It was too much weight on there, plus the wind was blowing too, which made it even more challenging. But I wasn't having the trouble casting as much with just the fly with the wind blowing as I was with the worm. It was a disaster. So that didn't work out. But it was worth a shot. But I do think at some point in the near future, I'm going to make a trip up to the mountains. Oh, I'm going to make a trip right here and turn around. Oh, he's gone. Get our worm. Nope. The whole glob is still on there. But I do think I want to make a trip up to the mountains and try to use that Tenkara rod. I've told you all my thoughts on like fishing videos and stuff on YouTube. Like I just don't watch many fishing videos. I spend so much time making my own videos and having to edit and stuff like that. Although videos like we're doing today, unedited, I don't have to do that. But you know what I mean. Like I spend so much time, I don't want to watch fishing videos when I'm done. And I also don't want to be influenced. I don't want to see or hear somebody do something on their video and it subconsciously bleed into my videos. Like when you watch my video today, I want what you're seeing to be me. Any mannerisms, any sayings, like I want it to be exclusively, authentically me. So I just don't watch many fishing videos, but I will occasionally watch a Tenkara Addict video. There's a channel called Tenkara Addict. He puts out a video like every couple a month. And it's just nice background noise. It's always beautiful scenery up in the mountains and stuff. And it makes it look fun. And so I see them videos sometimes and I get in the mood to do it and then I just never go. But soon I'm going to do it. And we even took out that Tenkara, I don't even know if you call it that, but when Catfish Sumo made me the Catfish Tenkara rod, I busted some catfish on that in a recent trip. That video was posted. That was interesting. Catching catfish on a fixed line, no reel. I almost kind of want to take one of my old Gollywhopper rods and just tie a section of line to the end of it and see what that would be like. That would be interesting. We may do that at some point. The trip I done it on, I took that rod out because I'd been having fish follow other ones up, and we had that happen once today where we're reeling up a fish and another one comes up with it. But it was happening frequently there for a week or so. I wanted to try it out then, but the Tenkara rod, it's like fly fishing simplified. When I took that fly fishing class there a few years ago, up there in the mountains, a little tackle shop up there puts them on. You spend half the day, like the first half of the day, you're learning all the various casts and practicing behind the shop. And then the second half of the day, you get on the water, you very quickly realize you can't do any of those casts because you're in this small stream and there's trees in front of you and behind you and over the top of you. And if you try casting a long distance and having a bunch of line out, you're in the trees. And I was in the trees all afternoon. I lost so many flies. I don't know how much them flies cost. I mean, they were included with the cost of the class, but like I lost a bunch. They didn't make nearly as big a profit on that class with me as what big thump. Did you see that rod go conk? Watch it go down. He hit that bait and just conk. I hope the camera was pointing in such a way for you all to see it. He's not fighting hard though. He's right under me. He's not fighting hard at all. Our worm got hit too, got tapped. Something didn't hook up with it. This one here though, he ain't fighting. Big bubbles coming up. Some big bubbles for small fish. Yeah, disappointing. I thought when he hit it, I thought that might have been a flathead at first. It had that like flathead inhale, but no such luck on that one. Still another bite though. I don't feel like we're getting bit as frequently now. I don't know if it's time of morning or maybe it's the larger bait. Maybe it's the yellow bass instead of the shad. I don't know. I don't feel like we're getting bit as frequently now. Either way, we got another one here that don't want to calm down. He didn't fight much coming up. I guess he saved his energy to get up here in the kayak so he can show out. Gotcha. All right. Get on. Get on before you flop again. Do we want to send this back down or let's try another shad. Now let's just find out. Let's put another shad down there, and if we instantly get bit, we'll know maybe it's the bait. I gotta get this swivel back through. There we go. There we go. All right. Let's try another shad. We'll know. That'll tell us real fast if it's the bait or if it's the time of day, maybe. This is small, another smaller shad here. This is the size of most of them I got yesterday. Creek was loaded that I was in was loaded with these. Didn't have a lot of, or didn't seem to have a lot of gizzards though. Okay. But yeah, I've been in the mood for that tenkara fishing. It's a very simple form of fly fishing. You don't have the fancy casts. You don't have the reel, so the line management part of it. I mean, I think a big part of fly fishing as an amateur, somebody that don't know anything about fly fishing, other than having taken one class a few years ago and watched a few YouTube videos, like I'm a total idiot when it comes to fly fishing. But one of the things it seems like for somebody like me, somebody brand new to it, would have a hard time with would be the line management. When you've got all that line out and it's either in the floor of a kayak or it's at your feet there in the stream if you're walking along the shore waiting, like that seems to be a big part of it, a big part of the skill of being a good fly fisherman. And with tenkara, you don't have that line management issue. You hear that bald eagle over there? I don't see him, but I hear him over there. There's some crows. There's crows and a bald eagle over there somewhere. I don't see any of them. You don't have the line management there with tenkara. It seems like most of the tenkara people, whatever length of rod you're using, that's how much line you'll use. And so, like that tenkara rod I got, it's called a triple zoom, meaning that you can use it at 3 different lengths. And one of them's like 10 foot, 11 foot something, and 12 foot something. And so most people, if they're using a 10 foot rod, they'll use 10 foot of line. And then there'll be a section of tippet, maybe 3 foot or so beyond that, which is like a piece of fluorocarbon, basically, that you will attach your fly to. And so you don't have, I mean, this is close quarters, basically. You're not making super long casts. And so you're going to be mostly using this in smaller water, smaller streams, which that tenkara addict, guys, one of the things I kind of enjoy about his channel when I do watch is that he will be in these, I mean, beautiful mountain sceneries, mountain landscapes, but he'll find these streams that are about the width of this kayak here and be tossing that fly in there to them and pulling trout out of these tiny little mountain streams. And I'm like, that's appealing. That's the kind of thing that looks fun. I mean, granted, a lot of them that he catches in them tiny little streams are small, but who cares? I mean, if your rod is designed for smaller fish, then they're going to be fun with it. You know, and he's hitting areas that are probably not as appealing to the hardcore fly fishing guys. So it's water that probably those fish never see a fly. They never see another human being. And so that kind of thing, I wouldn't mind doing something like that. But every time I take the fly rod out, the tenkara rod out, as soon as I get in a tree, I'm frustrated with it. So, I don't know. It's something I need to block off a set of days and be like, Justin, for the next 2 days, 3 days, whatever, like, we're going to go do this, and we're just going to figure it out. We're going to practice. We're going to lose some flies. Just accept it going in that I'm going to get some snags. I'm going to get caught in some trees. I'm going to lose some flies, lose some gear, but just make a commitment to it that I'm going to try not to get frustrated and just do it. And I think if I would do it for 2 or 3 days straight, I think I would have a lot more confidence in it. Even if I didn't do very well fishing, just the casting alone, like I think I would get better at it and develop more confidence in it. I don't know if it would do any good on video as far as me filming that kind of thing. I don't know. The viewers that I have here, you all and stuff, like you all have a certain, you're watching this type of video because you like this type of video. I mean, I would hope if you're watching, however the hell long we are at this now, over 3 hours at this crap at this point, I would certainly hope that you like the kind of fishing we're doing today if you give up 3 hours of your life watching this mess. But I don't know if that would play well on here or not. And honestly, I don't even know if I could do it. Whenever I do go to the mountains, I'll probably just do a channel members video first to see how it goes. Because here's the thing, like right now when we're sitting here on spot lock and we're just kick back, relax, waiting on fish to bite, well, there's really nothing going on. So I can sit here and keep my train of thought and tell you stories and tell you about my stupid ass neighbor who trashed my property and stuff like that. And when we can just sit out here and converse. But if I'm actively doing something that requires me to focus, how well am I going to be able to converse in that situation? Now, like when I'm ultralight fishing and I'm making a bunch of casts, working along a shoreline or something, that's still pretty easy because my casting, I've made 1 million casts in my lifetime. So like, it's just, I don't have to think. I can just do. When you reach a level at anything in life where you can just do it without thinking about it, then you can use your mind for other things. You can talk or converse or daydream or whatever while you're doing whatever task needs to be done. But with this tenkara fishing, I feel like I'm going to have to focus on what it is I'm doing as far as the casting and getting that fly to land where I want it to land. And if I'm walking through the mountain streams, like I'm going to have to watch my step, not bust my ass. Because I do remember them rocks being incredibly slick up there that day with the fly fishing teacher guy. So, there's going to be a lot going on, and how well am I going to be able to communicate throughout that video while I'd be trying to film? I don't know. So that may take away some of the enjoyment of it. I ran into that issue a little bit too a few years ago when I got the live scope. In the winter there, I'd got on a bite where there was a fish that jumped right over there. I don't know what it was though. He comes straight up. I don't know if it was a paddlefish or what. It's a skinnier fish, but I don't know what it was. Anyway, I got that live scope and I got on that wintertime bite of targeting catfish with artificials. And it was going well as far as me catching fish with them jigs. Just lining them up on the screen, tossing it out. Like I was getting better at it. But I remember I tried to film and I posted it. It was like, it wasn't a video like this where it ran a long period of time, but I'd done it like 30, 45 minutes or something like that. And just letting the camera run, unedited, of me working through a creek, shining that live scope and trying to target catfish with a jig. I caught a few doing that. But I had the hardest daggone time carrying on a conversation because I was having to do so much that required focus. I couldn't easily conversate. Now, will the tenkara be the same way? I don't know. Probably not as much so as the light, because with that deal, I had a lot going on with that, right? Like I'm running the kayak. I've got in my left hand, I'm steering the transducer for the live scope, shining it around, trying to find fish. Meanwhile, I've got the remote for the motor in my right hand, speed up, slow down and stuff. Then when I line up, when I see a fish on the screen, I got to line it up. I got to take my hand off the transducer pole, pick up the rod, make the cast. Like there's a lot of stuff. I'm using both hands. I'm using my eyes. Like there's a lot going on in that makes it difficult for me to focus. With the Tenkara, if I can get to a point where I get good enough at the casting that I can just put that fly wherever I want it and not have to think about it, well, then maybe I can get to a point where I can do this style of video while I do it. Now, again, will anybody be interested? That those of you that are interested in this style of video, would you be interested in that? Maybe, maybe not. Or maybe you might watch a little bit of it one time, but, if I got into it, would you do it regularly? I don't know. And the Tenkara people and the fly fishing people, are they going to be interested in watching me, a complete idiot, novice, don't know what the hell I'm doing? Are they going to be interested in watching me go out? Probably not. I mean, usually if you're going to watch a video of somebody, any type of video, but especially in fishing, like most of the time people are going to find your fishing videos because they're searching for something, right? Most of you watching this right now, chances are you were searching for something catfishing related. And either my video popped up as an option for you to watch and you clicked on it, or you were searching for something catfish related, you watched somebody else's channel, and now my video pops on afterwards or pops up as an option afterwards because you had searched for something catfish related. And usually if you're going to watch somebody, especially if you're going to watch more than one video of them, they're going to show some level of competence in whatever it is they're doing, whether it's me catfishing or Bill Dance bass fishing or pick whoever. Tenkara addict, Tenkara fishing. He's obviously very good at what he does. He's competent. When I watched that Tenkara addict guy, right? Like, I don't know anything about Tenkara other than what I've read and watched a few videos, but like I could see instantly watching his videos, I'm like, okay, well this guy, he's competent. He knows what he's doing. He's knowledgeable. Like, his videos he's making is pretty good quality here. Like, for me, if I'm in the mood for that kind of thing, I can put on his channel and know I'm going to have a good experience. Oh, our worm. Is this another bass? I thought it might have been a bass at first. Now I think it's just a small cat. It kind of felt like head shakes initially, but now I think it's a cat. Yeah. Little small cat. Oh, something just hit our shad. We've got some more fish working through. That rod tip stood up. All right, well, fish, if you ain't going to hit it, I'm going to go ahead and land this one. But I guarantee you, as soon as I put this one in the net, that rod's going to go down. I was going to stick this one back in the rod holder and grab that one, but whatevs, fish, whatevs. Let's see where you hooked at here, Blue Kitty. You ever been fly fishing before, you old catfish? He said, no, he's used a few spinning rods and some bait casters they found down there that somebody dropped overboard. But he ain't never found a fly rod dropped overboard. He said that'd be a first to see a fly rod out here went swimming. But again, what I was saying, like anybody who would be interested in Tenkara fishing, fly fishing, whatever, if they stumble on my video and it's obvious right from the get-go that I don't know what the hell I'm doing, are they going to come back and watch again? Well, probably not. So it may be one of them things that's maybe worthwhile for me to film it once, or if I go do it keep the camera rolling for my channel members or something, but not so much for the general audience type thing. I don't know. We'll try it and see at some point. You're never going to know till you try. There we go. There we go. Now he's got it taken down. I mean, there's been some other stuff on this channel that I thought would flop. Like this style of video, for instance. And these are my best performing videos now. I never thought anybody would watch me just fish and talk and not. Boy, he's wound up. Meanwhile, I think we got another one back here on our worm we just dropped down. We do. Nope. Yeah, we do. It's another bass. All right, well, let's throw him in the cooler. We're getting us some extra bait on these worms, by gosh. All right, Mr. Yellow Bass. Oh, no! He slipped out of my hand as I was about to put him in the cooler. He's gone. Dadgummit. Y'all, I can't believe y'all dropped that fish. I should have never let you all put him in that cooler. I knew I couldn't trust you with that. I knew it. I knew it, dadgummit. I can't trust y'all with anything. I've never dropped a fish out of the cooler in my life. I'll let you all, one simple task I give you all to do. One task. But yeah, a video style like this where I just leave the camera going the whole time I'm on the water, I would have never thought this would work out. But now it's my best. Well, that fish come free over there. He worked him. He said he got tired of waiting on you to unhook him. He'll just unhook himself. Meanwhile, back over here, we've got one on the worm over here. I'm curious to see what this is. Is it going to be another bass? It may be. It is. We got another bass. Okay. I don't know if we need any more. Let's keep this one because I think he ate it kind of deep. Get hold of him. Open that mouth up. Hey, bass, open that mouth. Okay, well then don't open it. I can't tell exactly where he's hooked at. I see the hook, but I can't tell if he got it down in the gills or not. Well, there it is. Is he bleeding at all? I don't see him bleeding. Oh, no. Well, that's two in a row that's got away. I don't know if we need any more of them or not anyway, but you know what I mean. It's like, hell, we were gonna use them for bait tomorrow anyway a little bit. Don't hurt. Keep a few. Let's put us another worm on here. I'm gonna have to get us another tub of worms. There was about an hour today. I didn't think this was a good idea. But now, I don't think it's a terrible idea. We're catching so many of them yellow bass. We're still getting plenty of action up here on our other rod with the cut bait. Plus we got our live bait over here in case something big does come along. So, we got options today, man. Got options for these fish. Whatever they want, we got it. Yeah, man, you just never know what's going to work until you try it. This crap here, I would have never in a million years thought thousands of people would watch and listen to a video, especially consistently like yous do, for as long as you do. I mean, my watch time on these videos is incredible. So, you just never know. So, I don't know. Maybe I can pull it off. Maybe I could go tenkara fishing not knowing what the hell I'm doing and get people to watch. We'll try it at some point. Tell you what we're going to try here in a little bit, though. I don't care if we're catching fish or not. We're going to try to go to the house because it is hot and getting hotter by the second. There's a few clouds in the sky today, but that sun's beating down, and we just at that point in the morning where it's rough out here, folks. It's pretty miserable right now. Hot and humid. Typical August weather. At least in my neck of the woods. It's been a good morning, though. I wish we hadn't wasted the time in that creek channel. But you live and learn, man. You don't know. I've been thinking about what could have been since last week. And we worked up here to this spot we're on. And, now we know today, getting out here and trying it was kind of a bust. But as soon as we got back up here in the depth we've been catching fish, bite was on again. So I think I want to come back out next trip tomorrow. First light. Get out here on this spot. Maybe we'll drop down a big, maybe take one of them yellow bass, cut it in half, one of the big ones, put that on the heavy gear first thing. Then if we hook a live one on a worm or small piece of shad or whatever, then we'll switch it out and put over a live bait and just run the same setup we have today and see how it goes. But I have to believe, though, there's going to be a greater likelihood of a monster working through and ready to eat at first light, especially when it comes to flatheads. They're going to take advantage of those low light time periods a little more. Sunrise and sunset. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But, we've got enough action out here today to make me want to do it. The quality ain't been great, but hell, we got some fun sizers in with our dinks. And of course, that last week when we was out here, we got dinked all the way down through here, and we get up in this area, and I got a nice blue and a nice flathead. So there's something to this right here. I don't know what it is exactly that's going to hold fish right here where we're at. But there's something to it. So, million other places we could go hit tomorrow, but as we learned last week when instead of coming back out here, I drove to Chattanooga. What a waste that was. Hell, I just seem to come back out here and catch fish. It'll either work out tomorrow or it won't, but be out here trying. As long as it ain't pouring down rain in the morning. Oh, I heard her worm get hit. Nope. Now, we got both of them getting messed with. But something ate the shad. Oh, shad goes down. I think something's back there nibbling on that worm. Yes, another skinny one right here. Old skinny mini. Grab your net over here. I keep glancing back here, waiting for that worm to go down. Get in that net, fish. Get in there. There you go. Come in here and act like somebody. Okay. There we go. Oh, he finally got it. Get him. Reel in the worm one here. I think it's another bass. It is. Boy, them bass are eating them worms. Old Larry talking me into this, done a good job. We ain't got our sturgeon, which is what I was really hoping to get. You know what, yellow bass, you are going in the cooler. We got him in there, by gosh. Now let's get this one. Let's get this one handled. Yeah, I don't know if we need any more yellow bass, especially since we can sit here. And one would think they'd still be here tomorrow, right? I mean, they was here last week. They here today. Chances are they're here for a reason. Something's going on to hold them here, so we might could catch some more tomorrow. But we for sure have something to start out with tomorrow. Let's just go ahead and send this back down. You rehook it right there. Let's go ahead and send that back down. Let's see if we can drop down just a few more times here, a couple more times maybe. Let's drop that shad down again. Let's drop us another worm down, see what happens. And then after that, let's me and you think about going to the house. Well, I can't go to the house just yet. I gotta go by my parents' house. Don't let me forget to stop by my parents and let their dog out. I'll never live it down if I forget that. They had some stuff to do today and was going to be gone a while, and I was like, well, it ain't no big deal because I got to drive right by their house to get home from here. So ain't a big deal to swing by there and do it for as long as I can remember. I probably need to swing to Walmart too and get us another tub of worms. Because we only had 18 and we've gone through a few today between the ones that have been stole from us and the ones that have been, well, something already hit it right there. He hit it again. He's on it again, folks. Ain't that something? As his friend over here flops around in that cooler. Let me just, nope. Pulled it out of his mouth. Wonder if he got the worm. That's a mosquito hook. I can't remember if I told y'all that or not on that one. The mosquito hooks are even though they're the mosquito hooks on that rod and the shiner hook on the other rod, they're both number 1 size. But that mosquito hook's a little bit smaller. And I thought for this, with the worms, that smaller hook would do us better. Be less chance for them to rip it off the hook, and if we did get a yellow bass, white bass, a drum, would have better odds of actually hooking it with the smaller hook. So it's worked out, even though we've missed several fish today, overall it's worked out. Let me reel it up, see if he just got it off there. He did. I knew when he stopped hitting it, something was up. Grab another one right here. Wouldn't it be something if we got a sturgeon, though? Well, if we busted a surgeon, I hope we don't catch a surgeon, like a doctor out here, but if we ever caught a sturgeon with this setup, hell, I'd probably have worms, a worm rod on every trip. We're going to have one on the shad rod right here. Got him. Oh, what's this? Is this a cat? Or is this something else? That's a largemouth. Get your net, folks. That's a large jaw right there on the shad. Well, ain't that something? That's a dang largemouth. I've caught them on cut bait before, but I ain't caught one on cut bait in a long time. Sure enough. He looks rough, but that's pretty good size large jaw right there. Here, let me give him, y'all get up there in the front seat. Look at this. Oh, calm it down there, large. Oh, rod back here's going down. Yeah. Nice, man. Nice. That ought to be the thumbnail right there. He's got marks on him here and stuff. He's not looking to be in the best condition, but nice. All right, buddy. We'll see you. Let's get your friend. Oh, his friend done stole a worm while we... No, he didn't steal the worm either. He tried. I felt him hitting it while I was holding it up there. Large jaw on the dang cut bait, man. But that was a smaller cut bait too. That was one of the smaller shad. Let me grab another small. Very interesting. We got some of them yellow bass on the small cut bait, and now large jaw on it. That's something. You just never know what you're going to catch. That's happened before on the heavy tackle a couple times. And I've gotten some on the live shad when I've used it. But it's the first large... God, what's going on up here? Have we got the line wrapped around the rod tip? We do. There we go. Now we fixed it. Bee buzzing around my head, but I just set the hook on something. As soon as it got down there, I bet it's another bass. Yellow bass. Sure enough. As soon as it got down there, that bee buzzed around my head, and I set the hook, hoping to swat the bee, and the fish had it. Looky there. I'm gonna let that one go. Okay. You know what? This one here, I ain't even gonna cut. I'm not cutting this one. I'm just gonna drop it down as is. This is something, y'all. Let's do it again. As clear, as shallow as we're fishing, as clear as the water is, they're probably seeing that flash go down there. I wonder if we couldn't just sit here and jig it a little bit. Something's after it. Got him. We got another one. Another yellow bass. Ain't this something? This is fun, y'all. Even on, of course, this tackle here is a little heavier than you need for this size of fish, but when you can just drop it down there and feel them smash it as soon as it gets down there, that's fun. Let's do it again. Let's send it straight down. I ain't even gonna put it in the holder. I'm gonna try to just jig it. Wish we had the graph so we could see. He's after it. Got him. I wish we could see how many's down. Oh, did he drop it? No, he's still on there. It'd be nice to know how big that school is. Well, that one's hooked. That one's hooked up under the belly. Oh, there goes our worm. There goes our worm. Boy, something's pulling that worm. Wouldn't that be something if that was our sturgeon? Oh, we'll never know. We will never know. Because it's gone. Poo-poo. That was a nice takedown. I may try tomorrow. If we do some more of this worm fishing tomorrow, and we probably will based on how it's going, I may put the shiner hook on and just see how it will do with the worms. Because, I mean, we've missed a bunch of fish and lost some fish with them mosquito hooks. I have way more confidence in the shiner hook style. I just felt like it might be a little too big for the worms, but we'll try it tomorrow and see. Oh, he's already on it. Something hit me. Just gonna jig this thing up and down. I don't know that it needs to be jigged, but just let it sit there a second. Something hit me. Eat that thing. Oh, he hit it then. I think he's got it. Oh, no. Let me just check that. Let me see if he got the bait. Yeah, he did. I know he had hit it pretty good. That was a pretty nice largemouth. You got to admit, like, it was pretty good size. I knew it was a possibility with the worms. I wasn't expecting to catch one on a piece of cut shad today. Anything's possible in life, folks. Anything. Got him. I got him. Oh, it's another largemouth. That's another big largemouth right there. Who would have ever thought, dang catfish trip, you're going to be busting largemouth? I'll be damned, folks. That's a different one, too. That's a different one because he ain't got the marks on him that the other one did. Looky right here. Looky right here. I'll be damned. Little tiny thread fin shad busting pretty nice largemouth. Let me set y'all back up here in the front seat. If I can get it. There we go. Check that out. That's awesome, man. We'll see you, buddy. Oh, man, freaking insane. Dang old largemouth. Where are we at on the camera here, folks? If we got, I can't half see the screen. We just about out of battery right here, folks. We about out of battery. Let me try to just maybe bust one more if we can. The battery's gonna crap out anytime. I normally get close to 4 hours on this thing, and it craps out on me, so I'm gonna fish a little while longer and see if I can keep hitting these dang largemouth, just because hell, we might bust a 10-pounder or something. But mine and your trip's about to come to an end when this battery dies. All right, let's send it back down. We must have a school of largemouth down there. I'm just going to hold this rod in my hand. Something's after it. Something wants it. He keeps hitting it. Got him. Oh, it's a yellow bass. They're just a pile of fish down here, buddy. Can you imagine if we had some live shad right now? I'd calm down so I can get you unhooked, sir. Let's do it again. Let me grab another one. I'm just using the small shad at this point. This is fun. Let's see if we can bust another one. I want to get me about a 10-pound largemouth here, folks. I wish the camera would run longer. I'm as hot as blaze. I was getting ready to leave. Now I think I'm gonna give it another 30 minutes or so. Since these largemouth have come through. I'm getting, something hit me. He keeps hitting it. Oh, I missed him. I know the bait's still on the hook because he's back after it. Oh, I missed him again. I think he got the bait then. He got most of it. He got all but the head of it. Hell, I never dropped that other worm back down, did I? I got distracted here. Never rebaited another worm. Down it goes. We could probably sit there with a spoon too, I bet. This vertical jig got spoon. I ain't got none with me though. Yeah, one hit it. I may see if I can find a spoon at the house tonight. My old bass lures. Bring that out tomorrow. We might play with it a little bit too. Did he get it? Did he get our bait? Nope. All right, let me just lift this thing up and set it here in my hand again. Yeah, something's after it already. Well, now that I want it to bite right now while I'm holding it, he ain't gonna do it. Interesting though, 2 largemouth. There's probably more down there. If we had some bigger, maybe some bigger gizzards, something that the yellow bass couldn't eat, or some shiners, bigger shiners that they couldn't eat. Something just ate this. I'll tell you what, folks, we done got robbed here again. I'm going to play with this a little more. But this battery, y'all, the battery's about ready to crap out here anytime. So we're gonna wrap up the video. I'm gonna do this a little while longer. Tomorrow, I'm gonna look around the house, see if I got any spoons. We may try spooning out here tomorrow too. Jig that spoon a little bit. We may bust a big cat, we may bust a bass, who knows? I think I have some at home. We'll see. But that would be fun. But either way, I got a bunch of them small shad. I've got a few more big gizzards back here. The yellow bass that we've kept, plus who knows, we'll probably catch some more yellow bass tomorrow. So bait shouldn't be a problem tomorrow. But we'll come right back out to this spot. We will hopefully be out here at first light if y'all get your butts out of bed, and we'll see what happens. And we'll put in another session out here tomorrow and see if all these bass and cats are still here. And if they are, we're going to have us a day. But I'm going to cut this off before the video cuts itself off. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for coming with me today.